Chapter 1862. Honest Qin. After Mo's reminder, Qin Yun recalled the mysterious bloodline heavenly pattern box and promptly took it out. Every time he takes out the box, he is very nervous. He is worried that the Heaven Creation Divine Palace would discover it, because this box is very important to the entire Nine-Sun royal family. It can be said that it is the capital left behind by the Nine-Sun royal family. Although the Heaven Creation Divine Palace, Nine-Sun Divine Palace, and Nine-Sun Divine Palace are not part of the Nine-Sun royal family, they all have half of the Nine-Sun royal family bloodline. Are these two really related? Qin Yun placed the bloodline heavenly pattern box together with the Nine Desolate Divine Saber. Qin Yun used some things to stick the two halves of the Nine Desolate Divine Saber together and made it as complete as possible. Then he placed it next to the bloodline heavenly pattern box. He and Mo calmly looked at it. Not long after the bloodline heavenly pattern box reacted, it suddenly flickered and slightly trembled. It looks like there is a heart beating inside, issuing a kind of thump sound. With each beat, the box flickered with white light. There is a reaction. Mo, take this opportunity to look at the box and the saber. Qin Yun said in pleasant surprise. Mo nodded and said, I am seriously looking. While the box is flickering with white light, it is overflowing with red energy mist. It is a kind of blood energy. The blood energy is being absorbed by the Nine Desolate Divine Saber. After absorbing the blood energy, the Nine Desolate Divine Saber also reacted. Some faint runes appeared on its surface. It is repairing itself. Qin Yun looked at the place where it was cut. The cracks there are healing. The cracks on the surface of the saber are also slowly healing. It will take a very long time to completely repair it. Mo said. The bloodline power inside the box cannot be released continuously. Qin Yun thought of something and placed the Nine Desolate Divine Saber and the box inside the box filled with Divine Universe Golden Stones. The box will continue to absorb Divine Universe power, and it might be able to make the Nine Desolate Divine Saber recover even faster. I wonder what use the Nine Desolate Divine Saber has. Qin Yun relaxed a lot seeing that the Nine Desolate Divine Saber can be repaired. After Mo returned to the Nine-Sun Divine Soul, Qin Yun sat down and recalled what happened just now. He still did not know what the Nine Wilderness Divine Blade was used for. The Dark Knight Princess was definitely not looking for the Nine Wilderness Divine Blade for battle. There must be something special about the Nine Desolate Divine Saber. Back then, it was used by the Nine-Sun Royal Race's clan emperor to conquer the 3,000 heavenly domains. I guess that the Nine Desolate Divine Saber can better release Nether Sun's power. Ling Yuner said. Because the material used to refine the Nine Desolate Divine Saber came from the Nether Sun core. Let's talk about it after it's repaired. Qin Yun said with a smile. Using a Divine Universe Golden Stone to exchange for this saber is not considered a loss. It's only to you that it's not a loss. That Divine Universe Golden Stone isn't small. If you only have one, you definitely won't exchange it. Ling Yuner said. Indeed, Qin Yun said, it seems that in the eyes of Elder Situ, I should be an honest person. He must have felt that I was cheated. No wonder he gave me a spot to enter the Heaven Creation Mansion. Ling Yuner said with a smile. Xiao Yun, if you can become very strong in the Heaven Creation Mansion, not only will you not lose, you will also earn. It's afternoon now. It's almost evening. Only tomorrow morning, the Sacred Pill and Divine Universe Spring Water will be delivered. Qin Yun can't wait to cultivate now. In the evening, a bell suddenly rang. As long as the disciples in the Heaven Creation Mansion heard the bell, they must immediately go to the direction of the bell. Qin Yun immediately left his small stone house and quickly went to the direction of the bell. In the Heaven Creation Mansion, there are several large bells. Each bell rang, representing the gathering of disciples for various reasons. After Qin Yun walked out of the small stone house, he also saw several disciples of the Heaven Creation Mansion. They're all young people and look very cold. Those young people are not very anxious. It can be seen that the bell is not because of any urgent matter. Not long after, Qin Yun arrived at a small square in the eastern part of the Heaven Creation Mansion. There are only 100 or so disciples here, not many. In front of the small square, there is a middle-aged man in white with a solemn expression, floating in the air. He has his hands behind his back, looking at the 100 or so disciples in the small square. Those disciples are under a lot of pressure from this middle-aged man. After Qin Yun arrived, the white-clothed middle-aged man stared at Qin Yun. The white-clothed middle-aged man's eyes have a very sharp and dignified look. Before Qin Yun stepped into the square, he already felt the middle-aged man's intimidating aura. I've gathered all of you here to welcome the new disciples. The middle-aged man looked at Qin Yun and said, Qin Yun, I am the general manager of the Heaven Creation Mansion. Elder Sidhu should have mentioned me to you, right? Qin Yun is somewhat surprised. The white-clothed middle-aged man is the very powerful Zhang Shengxian. Sage is just a title. Qin Yun doesn't know why the general manager of the Heaven Creation Mansion is called Zhang Shengxian, nor did he ask. He only heard from Elder Sidhu that Zhang Shengxian is very strong. And Elder Sidhu did mention Zhang Shengxian to me. Qin Yun nodded. The other disciples all looked at Qin Yun. A disciple asked doubtfully, Zhang Shengxian, why do we not know that a new disciple has entered the Heaven Creation Mansion? If someone is going to take the assessment, all the disciples in the Heaven Creation Mansion are qualified to watch the assessment process. Yeah, didn't he take the assessment? Zhang Shengxian, did he secretly take the assessment? It seems that our Heaven Creation Mansion has never conducted a secret assessment, right? Zhang Shengxian said. Qin Yun is exempted from the assessment to enter the Heaven Creation Mansion. This is allowed by the elders of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. The group of disciples suddenly burst into an uproar. They all looked at Qin Yun in shock. Entering the Heaven Creation Mansion without taking the assessment, this is unprecedented in history. This, Zhang Shengxian, who is this Qin Yun? Is he the illegitimate son of the palace master? How can he break the rules of the Heaven Creation Mansion? Someone said with dissatisfaction. Yeah, we worked so hard and risked our lives to get into the Heaven Creating Mansion. Why can he be exempted from the assessment? Zhang Shengxian, isn't our Heaven Creation Mansion very fair? How can this happen? Faced with the doubts and complaints of these disciples, Zhang Shengxian said expressionlessly, not only is he exempted from the assessment, he also doesn't need to pay any fees to the Heaven Creation Mansion. More than 100 disciples in the small square suddenly felt a stabbing pain in their hearts. Not to mention that he doesn't need to take the assessment. He doesn't even need to provide resources to the Heaven Creation Mansion. Zhang Shengxian said again, I know you are all very unhappy, but let me tell you, even if Qin Yun is a cripple, I have nothing to say about him being able to come to the Heaven Creation Mansion. I even feel that it is natural. All the disciples quieted down. Qin Yun also listened quietly. Zhang Shengxian paused. His sharp gaze swept across the crowd and said, because Qin Yun gave a very large divine universe golden stone to the Heaven Creation God Palace. That divine universe golden stone is very important to our entire Heaven Creation City. Qin Yun feels that this is very good. Now everyone knows that he gave the divine universe golden stone to the Heaven Creation God Palace. In the future, no one will remember him. When the disciples heard this news, they were startled and then looked at Qin Yun. Just now, when they looked at Qin Yun, their eyes were filled with jealousy and disgust. After all, everyone hates people who destroy fairness. But now, when they looked at Qin Yun, their eyes were filled with shock and doubt. Zhang Shengxian, is this true? He really gave the Heaven Creation God Palace a very large divine universe golden stone? How big is it? A disciple could not help but ask. I heard that it's as big as a thumb. Zhang Shengxian said. Qin Yun frowned because the divine universe golden stone he gave to Elder Sidhu is far from being that big. The group of disciples immediately exclaimed in surprise again and again. They looked at Qin Yun in disbelief and no longer had the hostility from before. A tall young man said with a smile, in that case, forget about him being a cripple. Even if he was a dead person, we wouldn't mind if he could cultivate in the Heaven Creation Palace. The Divine Universe Golden Stone is very important to the entire Heaven Creation City. Qin also never expected that a small Divine Universe Golden Stone would actually have such a great effect. Qin, right? Brother, you've suffered a great loss. Such a large Divine Universe Golden Stone was only exchanged for the treatment of entering the Heaven Creation Palace. If it were me, I would make all the elders of the Heaven Creation God Palace marry their daughters to me. A young man said with an evil smile. If it were me, I would recognize the palace mistress as my godmother. Ha! I would also have her pass down the supreme divine technique to me. If I had such a large Divine Universe Golden Stone, I would become an elder of the Heaven Creation God Palace. It would be much better than coming to this broken place like the Heaven Creation Palace. Someone came over and patted Qin shoulder, sighed, and said, Brother, you came from the immortal desolate, right? You don't understand the market. You've suffered a great loss. Those elders of the Heaven Creation God Palace are all old foxes. They eat people without spitting out the bones. It's fine. It's not bad to be able to enter the Heaven Creation Palace. Someone comforted. Qin is startled. He suddenly realized that he is truly an honest person. He actually did not ruthlessly demand an exorbitant price. He laughed dryly a few times and said, the Heaven Creation God Palace also gave me a 9 desolate divine saber. That is a very powerful saber. It is the peerless divine saber that the 9-son royal family emperor used to conquer the 3,000 heavenly domains. This immediately caused a burst of laughter. Brother, from now on, you should change your name to Qin Honest. The glory of that broken saber has long passed. It is just those old foxes bragging all day long to deceive people. That's right. How could the 9 desolate divine saber be as divine as they boasted? If it was so awesome, would they have given it to you? Qin Honest, there is no regret pill to eat. Restrain your grief and accept the vicissitudes of life. It's fine. It is unavoidable to be cheated once or twice in life. To you, this might not be a bad thing. It will make you remember it in your heart. A group of kind-hearted disciples are all comforting Qin. Qin is somewhat dumbfounded. He actually became an honest person. Furthermore, others even gave him the nickname Qin Honest. In the past, when he called himself an honest person, no one believed him. But now, he's been given such a nickname, causing him to not know whether to laugh or cry. Qin Honest, Elder Situ's daughter, is also in the Heaven Creation Palace, and she is also one of the 4 great heavenly daughters. Take her hand and take revenge from her. Someone laughed and said. Chapter 1863. Zhang Xingxin learned that Elder Situ's children are in the Heaven Creation Palace and felt a lot more at ease, because he was worried that the might of the Heaven Creation Palace was just bragging by Elder Situ. The fact that Elder Situ allowed his children to enter the Heaven Creation Palace means that the level of the Heaven Creation Palace is very good. Honest Qin, Elder Situ's son is very powerful. Don't believe those people's nonsense. They are all trying to harm you. A disciple can't stand it anymore and warned Qin very seriously. In the Heaven Creation Palace, you must not randomly challenge others. If you lose, you will lose a lot of resources. Qin said, if I lose, how many resources will I lose? Let's put it this way. In the Heaven Creation Palace, you can freely challenge other disciples. Challenges also have a reward and punishment mechanism. If you win, you'll get double the amount of sacred pill every day for 3 months. If you lose, you won't get any sacred pill for 3 months. Someone replied, Honest Qin, where did you get your Divine Universe Golden Stone? How did you get such a big piece? A disciple asked curiously. I got it by chance. Qin said, is Divine Universe Golden Stone really that important to Heaven Creation City? A fat man nodded and said, very important. Without Divine Universe Golden Stone, Heaven Creation City would not be able to maintain itself. Originally, Heaven Creation City was not lacking, but with the appearance of Divine Universe Evil Dragon, Heaven Creation City needs more divine universe golden stone to maintain the safety of Heaven Creation City. Zhang Shengxian said, Qin Yun, if you have any problems with cultivation, you can come to me at any time. I will definitely teach you everything I know. After everyone heard this, they all exclaimed in jealousy. Zhang Shengxian teaching everything he knew is equivalent to accepting a disciple. These disciples also know that Zhang Shengxian is doing this because he feels that Qin Yun suffered a great loss, so he wants to make up for it in this aspect. Many thanks, Zhang Shengxian. Qin Yun immediately said gratefully, No need to be polite, this is what I should do. You should know that Qin Yun's contribution to Heaven Creation City is great. I hope you can help him more in the future. Zhang Shengxian said, Definitely, definitely. Many disciples promptly nodded and said, All right, this gathering will end here. All of you can go back. Zhang Shengxian waved his hand and then said to Qin Yun, Follow me. Zhang Shengxian is flying in the air, so Qin Yun also flew up and followed behind him. The others formed groups and returned to their small stone houses while discussing the matter of honest Qin. Qin Yun followed behind Zhang Shengxian and asked curiously, Zhang Shengxian, why don't I see Elder Sidhu's children? Are those disciples all the disciples of the heaven-creating sect? There are 3,000 disciples in heaven-creating mansion, and that's just a small portion of them. Most of the disciples will return to their families on normal days. Zhang Shengxian said, I see. Qin Yun also understood and nodded. Qin Yun, there are 10 strongest disciples in Heaven Creation Mansion. They're the 4 great heavenly daughters, the 4 great heavenly sons, and the 2 saints. Zhang Shengxian said, Elder Sidhu's children are all heavenly sons and heavenly daughters. Zhang Shengxian, are you worried that I will fight them to the death? Asked Qin Yun with a smile. Yes. After all, you suffered a great loss. Even I feel that the Heaven Creation Divine Palace is a bully. Zhang Shengxian sighed and said, You have such a big divine universe golden stone, you shouldn't get such a small reward. Qin Yun doesn't know if Elder Sidhu is swindling him or not, because he feels that obtaining the 9th Desolate Divine Saber is very worth it, not to mention cultivating in the Heaven Creation Mansion. Did I really suffer a great loss? Qin Yun said with a frown. That 9 Desolate Divine Saber is very worth it. Didn't you obtain the 9 Desolate Divine Saber? Whether it's worth it or not, you know it better than me, right? Zhang Shengxian shook his head and sighed. Elder Sidhu shouldn't have let you suffer such a great loss. I wonder if he feels guilty or not. Qin Yun now knows that the matter of the 9 Desolate Divine Saber being a broken saber is very famous in the entire Heaven Creation City. However, he and Princess and Yi both feel that the 9 Desolate Divine Saber is very precious. Zhang Shengxian, thank you for fighting for me, Qin Yun said with a smile. It's nothing, I just can't stand it. Don't worry, if I see those elders of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace, I will do my best to help you fight for more, Zhang Shengxian said. Qin Yun has already followed Zhang Shengxian and flew to the roof of a huge stone building. They entered the stone house from the entrance at the top. Zhang Shengxian, why do they call you Zhang Shengxian? Qin Yun asked. Although this Zhang Shengxian looks like a very strict and dignified middle-aged man, he is very easy to talk to. Because I have already surpassed the immortal Emperor realm and become a saint. I was once a disciple of the Heaven Creation Palace, and I am the fastest disciple to become a saint, Zhang Shengxian said. Qin Yun followed Zhang Shengxian and arrived at a hall. He said in shock, Since you have become a saint, shouldn't you go to the sacred desolate? As long as I don't leave the Heaven Creation City, I don't need to enter the sacred desolate. Zhang Shengxian smiled faintly. I am staying here of my own accord. Why? Is it not good to go to the sacred desolate? Qin Yun is very puzzled because if it were him, he would definitely go to the sacred desolate immediately. Because I want to stay here and guide the disciples of the Heaven Creation Palace. In fact, there are many saints left behind in the Heaven Creation City. Zhang Shengxian said. For example, the two saints of the Heaven Creation Palace are two young saints. The fact that the Heaven Creation Palace can nurture saints made Qingyun feel a lot more at ease. Right now, Qingyun only wants to quickly become a ninth-stage immortal emperor and have enough strength to enter the immortal graveyard. Zhang Shengxian indicated for Qingyun to sit down. After Qingyun sat down, he looked around and asked, Zhang Shengxian, why did you bring me here? Zhang Shengxian said, Qingyun, I heard from Elder Situ that you are an inscription master. If you enter the Heaven Creation Palace, you will also have to learn inscription, right? Qingyun nodded and said, I want to learn those powerful Dao Yin runes of yours. He has Dao Yin runes in his hands, but there are only 9 of them in total. How to use those 9 Dao Yin runes well? He needs to comprehend them himself. Back then, the relationship between the Heaven Creation City and the 9 Sun Royal family was very good. Therefore, the Dao Yin runes in the Heaven Creation City are all related to the 9 basic Dao Yin runes. Qingyun feels that if he were to learn those Dao Yin runes here, coupled with the 9 basic Dao Yin runes, he would be able to comprehend them even faster and master them even better. Are you an inscription master? Zhang Shengxian asked. Yes. Qingyun nodded. What level of inscription master are you? Zhang Shengxian doesn't know much about Qingyun because he has never come into contact with anyone from the Immortal Desolate. What level? I'm not sure. Qingyun shook his head. Although someone said that he is a heavenly inscription master, he doesn't dare to be sure. Zhang Shengxian took out a piece of animal skin and a writing brush. The brush's hairs are golden and the shaft is very heavy. Use the power of the blood soul and draw a rune on the beast's skin. Try your best to draw it. Zhang Shengxian said, I will first determine what level of inscription master you are. This way, it will be easier for me to plan how to guide you in learning and mastering Dao Yin runes. Zhang Shengxian, you are also an inscription master? Qingyun is somewhat astonished because he can't tell. Zhang Shengxian is not wearing an inscription robe. Furthermore, he is tall and mighty. He looks like a battle type. I am one of the few inscription dome masters in the Heaven Creation Palace. Actually, most people would choose the Divine Inscription Palace to learn inscription. Zhang Shengxian said, Since you are in the Heaven Creation Palace, I will teach you inscription in passing. Qingyun picked up the brush and said with a smile, Zhang Shengxian, how is your inscription level? This Heaven Creation Palace doesn't seem to have an atmosphere for learning inscription. Zhang Shengxian smiled slightly. My inscription level is ranked 10th in the entire Heaven Creation City. This isn't bad, right? Not first, and not in the top 5, of course it's bad. Qingyun said with a smile. Zhang Shengxian only smiled and did not explain further. He only said, teaching you inscription is enough. Qingyun picked up the brush, and after thinking for a moment, he decided to draw a flame star rune. He has the wildfire inscription spirit and the star lord inscription spirit. When drawing flame star runes, regardless of finesse or other aspects, he can display them extremely well. When he was drawing the flame star rune, the brush also released a ball of light to cover the beast's skin, preventing others from seeing through the dark lines. Not long after, the flame star rune was finished. After Qingyun put away the brush, Zhang Shengxian was somewhat surprised and said, You finished drawing? Here. Qingyun handed over the beast's skin. Zhang Shengxian opened it and looked at it. At first, he frowned, then his face gradually revealed astonishment. Finally, he looked at Qingyun in shock and said, Your level of inscription is not bad. What level of inscription master am I? Qingyun asked, Is it based on finesse? The level of inscription master in Heaven City is not only as simple as finesse evaluation. There are also many comprehensive factors. For example, the strength of the blood soul power, the strength of mental power, and also the speed of drawing runes, the speed and finesse of drawing complex runes. Zhang Shengxian looked at the bee skin and said, In short, the process is rather complicated and needs to pass a series of tests. Qingyun said with a smile, Then what level of inscription master am I? Zhang Shengxian thought very seriously and said, You can reach the level of Heavenly Inscription Master. Of course, it's only little Heavenly Master. There's also Great Heavenly Master and Wang Tian Master. Qin Yin nodded and asked, Zhang Shengxian, what about you? I am a Saint Inscription Master. Zhang Shengxian smiled and said, although your level is extremely high, you are far inferior to me. Saint Inscription Master. Qin Yin is also secretly astonished. This Zhang Shengxian is truly powerful. Not only is he a Saint Transformation expert, he is also a Saint Inscription Master. Zhang Shengxian. I can also be considered an Inscription Dome Master. Can you teach me how to quickly draw multiple lines? Qin Yun said. Oh, you're also an Inscription Dome Master. I can't tell. Zhang Shengxian is somewhat astonished. He said with a frown, Qin Yun, are you really Qin honest? With your level, you shouldn't have been tricked by Elder Situ. Qin Yun waved his hand and said with a smile, I don't know much about the value of Divine Universe Golden Stone. Chapter 1864. The Morning's Harvest. After Zhang Shengxian stored the runes drawn by Qin Yun, he carefully thought about how to teach Qin Yun. Qin Yun, how many lines can you draw now? Zhang Shengxian asked. 2 way. Qin Yun said. 2 way. This was only at the beginner level. There's no rush. The fact that you are able to become an Inscription Dome Master proves that you are talented. If you want to become stronger, it's only a matter of time. Zhang Shengxian said, but I want to draw runes on multiple paths, even faster. If I were to fight, I would also use Inscription Dome technique, wouldn't I? Qin Yun said, drawing runes on 2 paths is too slow. Zhang Shengxian got up and paced back and forth a few times before saying, all right, I'll make a cultivation plan for you. Back then, I was just as impatient as you. The elders were not willing to teach me, saying that my foundation would not be firm. However, I figured out the trick myself. I'll pass it to you in a few days so that you can quickly grasp the technique of drawing multiple lines. Thank you, Zhang Shengxian. Qin Yun immediately thanked him. You're welcome. Zhang Shengxian smiled and said, go back. Eat the Saint Pill tomorrow morning and soak your body in the Divine Space spring water. Get used to this cultivation method as soon as possible. When Qin Yun walked out of Zhang Shengxian's stone house, it was already dark. On the way back, Qin Yun was in an extremely good mood because he had met a very strong Inscription Master. If he were to learn from Zhang Shengxian for a period of time, he would definitely advance by leaps and bounds. At night, the whole Heaven City was talking about Honest Qin. Many people in Heaven Creation City believe that Qin Yun has been fooled by Elder Situ, and they also recognize the nickname Qin Honest. The immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor also heard of this matter, and he began to tinker with the 9 dragons' heaven origin formation. Crimson Sun Dragon Mother said from the side, Little Dragon, you were there when the exchange happened. Why didn't you persuade Little Floating Cloud? Look at how badly he was tricked by those old foxes. They even gave him the nickname Honest Qin. Honest Qin, F***CK. Those idiots have never been tricked by Honest Qin before. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor laughed. Don't worry, Xiao Fuyin is smarter than us old fellows. How can it be so easy to trick him? Crimson Sun Dragon Mother was still worried. She shook her head and said he was too anxious to become stronger, wanted to deal with the Divine Universe Evil Dragon. It is normal for him to be blinded. Don't worry, Little Floating Cloud is very interested in the 9 Desolate Divine Blade. If he says there's no problem, then there's no problem. Who knows, maybe the one who's going to lose out is the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor said. On the other side, Peng Huxiong, Peng Hantao, Shimen Taigon, and Heartless Immortal Paragon were in the same courtyard. They had also heard about Honest Qin. Peng Hantao said very sadly, Big brother, oh big brother, why are you so careless? The Divine Universe Golden Stone that you painstakingly obtained was tricked away just like that. Shimen Taidan said, Uncle's Divine Universe Golden Stone is very big. He only exchanged it for a broken saber and entered the Heaven Creation Palace to cultivate. Peng, Yin, Yin Tian. Peng, Long Qin Qing Qing. He Yin, Yin He Tian. Yin Tian Qin. Of? I've never heard of it, but I just heard from the Imperial clan's clan kings that the ninth desolate divine saber is still very powerful. Heartless Immortal Venerable said, Brat Sheen is so capable, he definitely won't lose out. It's hard to say. If you always walk by the river, how can you not get your shoes wet? Peng Hantao is sure that Qin Yun has been cheated. He shook his head and sighed. Big Brother thinks that Qin Yun is honest. To put it nicely, he is honest. To put it bluntly, he is a fool. Peng Huxiong shook his head and said, Heavenly Master Qin will not suffer such a big loss. There must be something we don't know about. Because everyone thinks that the Divine Universe Golden Stone Qin Yun handed over is as big as a fist. Of course, there are also rumors that it is as big as a human head. In short, the majority of people don't know how big the Divine Universe Golden Stone Qin Yun took out is. Heaven Creation God Palace did not clearly say how big it is. They let the rumors spread because it is beneficial to Heaven Creation God Palace. This will let everyone in Heaven Creation City know that their Heaven Creation God Palace has obtained a very big Divine Universe Golden Stone. It must be known that during this period of time, because of the appearance of Divine Universe Evil Dragon City, many people in Heaven Creation City are panicking. Now that they know that Heaven Creation God Palace picked up a very big Divine Universe Golden Stone, the panicking people in Heaven Creation City are very relieved. The Imperial clan side is also a lot more at ease. Qin Yun is a member of their Imperial clan. Previously, because Qin Yun was worried that he would cause trouble, he temporarily cut off his relationship with the Imperial clan. Now that Qin Yun has thrown out the Divine Universe Golden Stone and given it to Heaven Creation God Palace, it means that he has thrown out the big trouble of the Calamity Stone. In the future, there will not be a large number of people from the Outer Heaven domain who will go find trouble with Qin Yun. Everyone feels that Qin Yun's method is quite witty, even if he was tricked during the exchange and got a peerless broken saber. Late at night, Qin Yun is resting in the small stone house when someone suddenly knocked on the door. It's the middle of the night. Who is it? Qin Yun shouted as he walked over. Little brother Qin, it's me, Elder Situ. Elder Situ said. Qin Yun promptly went to open the door and said with smile, Elder Situ, why are you here? Elder Situ's face is full of smile as he said, There are many rumors outside right now, saying that you suffered a big loss, saying that our Heaven Creation God Palace is very dark, and so on. I hope you don't mind. It's fine. I'm very satisfied with this deal. Qin Yun said. Really? Elder Situ said worriedly. I heard from Zhang Shengxian that there are disciples of Heaven Creation Palace who are instigating you to deal with my children. Don't listen to those guys blindly making a fuss. I don't have that kind of idea. I only have one goal in Heaven Creation Palace, and that is to become stronger. Qin Yun said very seriously. After you become stronger, you won't go find trouble with my children, right? Elder Situ is still somewhat worried. Elder Situ, is your daughter beautiful? Qin Yun suddenly asked. Of course she is. Elder Situ very proudly smiled and said, Don't you know whose daughter she is? How about this? I will arrange for you to meet her. I will let her take care of you. Qin Yun laughed and said, If your daughter is very beautiful, she will definitely have many pursuers. How would I dare to provoke her? Oh, right. You must not let her take care of me. I won't be able to handle it. I understand the principle of femme fatale very well. He has experienced this kind of thing many times. Little brother Qin, you are truly an honest person. Elder Situ chuckled and said, Honest Qin, this nickname is really not wrong. Qin Yun speechlessly laughed and warned, Don't let your daughter take care of me. Her pursuers will bring me trouble. All right. Then I will let my son take care of you. There won't be any problem, right? Elder Situ said. No need. Qin Yun shook his head. How about this? I will discuss with the other elders and the higher-ups of Heaven Creation Palace and ask them to give you double the resources. Elder Situ said again. Qin Yun can see that Elder Situ is somewhat apologetic. That's fine, Qin Yun said with smile. Little brother Qin, don't worry. Our Heaven Creation Divine Palace really did not swindle you. We are honest with you. Elder Situ's face is filled with kind smile. I know. Qin Yun nodded. Then goodbye. Tomorrow morning, Maybe you will have double the resources. Elder Sidhu chuckled and then left. After Qin Yin closed the door, he shook his head and sighed. He said, "It seems that I really suffered a great loss. Elder Sidhu is truly an old fox who hides his strength. Wait until the 9 desolate divine saber is repaired, then we will know who suffered a great loss." Ling Yun said with smile, 9 desolate divine saber is refined from nether sun materials. Maybe your half-chest of divine universe golden stones was killed by 9 desolate divine saber. Qin Yin walked out of the small stone house and released the heaven-leaping shuttle. He entered the warehouse of the heaven-leaping shuttle and released the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. Then he took out the chest and opened it. Just looking at it feels so good. Qin Yin looked at the half-chest of divine universe golden stones, the 9 desolate divine saber inserted inside, as well as the bloodline heavenly rune box, and grinned. He finished looking at it, then put away the chest and walked out of the heaven-leaping shuttle. He returned to the small house and closed his eyes to rest, waiting for the arrival of morning. Dawn arrived. Qin Yin walked out of the small stone house and looked at the stone chest hanging beside the door. He opened it with his identity jade tablet. After opening the chest, he saw 4 bottles. 2 of them are relatively small. They should be storing sacred pill. The other 2 are slightly bigger. They're storing divine universe spring water. It is indeed double. It seems like they really feel that they are treating me unfairly. Qin Yin laughed in his heart and took away the bottles. Just as he took them off, he sent someone behind him. After he turned around, he saw a man wearing gorgeous blue embroidered clothes. This man has sword-like eyebrows and bright eyes. His bearing is extraordinary. His handsome face has a slight smile as he said, "Are you Qin Yin?" "Yes." "Your distinguished self is—" Qin Yin closed the chest and asked, "I am Sidhu Wushang, Elder Sidhu's youngest son." The man cupped his hands towards Qin Yin. Last night, Qin Yin repeatedly warned Elder Sidhu not to arrange for his children to take care of him. "Did Elder Sidhu ask you to come?" Qin Yin asked in low voice. "No, I came here on my own. My father was a bit unfair to you during the Divine Universe Golden Stone exchange. I feel guilty in my heart, so I came to apologize to you," Sidhu Wushang said with an ashamed expression. "It's nothing. Your father came last night. He told me to get double the resources." Qin Yin said with smile, "I am very grateful to him." Sidhu Wushang is startled. He suddenly feels that Qin Honest is indeed Qin Honest. He is too easy to send off. He promptly took out 2 bottles and handed them over to Qin Yin. He said, "These are sacred pill and divine spring water. 10 days' worth. Take them." This. Qin Yin is startled. "I'm one of the 4 heavenly sons. I have a lot of resources. You don't need to worry," Sidhu Wushang said with smile. "Qin Yin, from now on you are my brother. Whoever bullies you, just tell me. I guarantee that I will beat them until they look for their teeth on the ground." "Many thanks, Brother Sidhu." Sidhu Wushang stuffed those things into Qin Yin's bosom. Qin Yin can only reluctantly accept them. "I have matters to attend to. I will take my leave first." "Oh, that's right. Don't tell others that I came. Goodbye." Sidhu Wushang hurriedly left. After Qin Yin and Sidhu Wushang said their goodbyes, just as he was about to enter the small house, he suddenly sensed someone approaching. He turned around and saw a very beautiful white-clothed woman. She lightly frowned and said with slight anger, "You bastard! Why are you so stupid? Father and brother Jew secretly colluded to make you feel that they are very good, to make you very grateful to them. You are Elder Sidhu's daughter?" Qin Yin feels that he is about to harvest some sacred pill and divine spring water. His heart immediately feels very happy. Chapter 1865. Sage's teachings. Qin Yin looked at the white-dressed woman's beautiful face and secretly looked forward to her coming over to deliver something. "I am Sidhu Shao AI. Qin Yin is honest. My father has indeed let you down." Sidhu Shao AI walked over and took out 2 jade bottles and handed them over to Qin Yin. Just as Qin Yin expected, Situ, Xiao AI indeed, gave him a lot of resources. She is much more generous than Situ Wushang. She actually gave him 20 days of sacred pills and divine spring. So much, thank you. Qinyan received it and smiled gratefully. You, your brother, and your father are all good people. They all take care of me. Didn't I just say it? It was my father who asked my brother to find you. You were deceived by my brother. Situ Xiao AI said in a low voice. Why can't you understand such a simple trick? Qinyan thought for a moment and said, I think you're all good people. If it wasn't for your father making a deal with me, I wouldn't have been able to stay in Heaven Creation City, let alone enter Heaven Creation Mansion. And this morning, you two, brother and sister, gave me so many things. I am very grateful to you. Situ Xiao AI is somewhat speechless. She sighed faintly. As long as you are happy, people in this place are sinister. You have to be more careful. I heard that you have Sun Soul in your hands. Don't give it to others so easily. Qinyan nodded. Then goodbye. I will often come and give you resources. I will let you quickly become stronger and step into the 9th level Immortal Emperor realm. Situ Xiao AI finished speaking and left in a hurry. Qinyan waved goodbye to Situ Xiao AI. After he could not see Situ Xiao AI, he entered the small stone house with a smile. Ling Yun said with a smile, What a good girl. On the other hand, Situ Wushang and his father used all kinds of tricks. Qin Yun entered the small stone house and placed the sacred pills into 2 jade bottles. There are a total of 2 types of sacred pills. One is a white pill for cultivating the soul, and the other is a golden pill for cultivating the body. There are more than 60 sacred pills in total. I wonder how effective they are. Qin Yun took out 2 pills and ate them. He said with a frown, The taste is strange. There is no reaction for the time being. He quietly waited for the sacred pill's medicinal effect to kick in. A moment later, he suddenly felt his body becoming hot and his head swelling. Not good. The medicinal effect is very strong. Qin Yun said in alarm. Quickly take out the divine space spring water to soak. Ling Yun said, Didn't they say that they would soak in the divine space spring water at the same time? Qin Yun immediately took out a bath the size of a bed. Then, he took out many small bottles and poured out the divine space spring water inside. A bottle of divine space spring water was only enough for one person. Normally, one would place it in a large bucket and soak in it. Now, Qin Yun took out a bath because he wanted to cultivate together. He greeted 9 Sun Divine Souls Shui, Tianzi, Zi Qingsheng, and Long Tianji, and asked them to come out. Qin Yun had already jumped into the bathtub and soaked in the divine space spring water. The discomfort he felt gradually disappeared. After Shui Tianzi came out, she smiled, took off her clothes, and jumped in. They were not naked either. They were clothed on the inside. The water is a little cold. Zi Qingsheng said in a low voice, Little brat, I can't stand this cold water. How long do I have to soak in it? Cold? I don't think so. Qin Yun looked at Shui, Tianzi, and Long Tianji. They crossed their arms and nodded. Moreover, they are somewhat shivering. If not for the water being very cold, Shui Tianzi would have already stuck to Qin Yun's side. Qin Yun touched Zi Qingqing's face. He could indeed feel that her delicate and soft face is very cold. Ah, your hand is very warm. What's going on? Zi Qingsheng said in amazement. Qin Yun promptly held Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi's hands and said, Let's quickly cultivate together. Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi held Long Tianji's hands. After they operated Sun and Moon Heart Sutra, the medicinal power of the sacred pill inside Qin Yun's body started flowing through their bodies. Not long after, the cold feeling on their bodies disappeared. So comfortable. Shui Tianzi sighed in admiration. Her charming face is filled with a comfortable feeling, making her look even more tender and alluring, filled with dense charm. Zi Qingsheng also felt a lot more relieved. She looked at Qin Yun and asked, What kind of cultivation method is this? Qin Yun simply explained the matter of the sacred pill and divine space spring water. He said with smile, This can allow me to increase my cultivation even faster. We can break through very quickly. With the help of these women, Qin Yun will be able to increase his cultivation even faster. Xiao Yun, we made many talisman papers during this period of time. They're all made from sacred tier materials. I just don't know if they will be useful to you or not. Shui Tianzi said. Of course they are useful. Qin Yun said. The talisman papers you made are very good. When I have time, I will research a talisman to deal with evil spirits and heavenly demons. At that time, it will be useful. Shui Tianzi moved closer to Qin Yun. Inside the warm spring water, she hugged Qin Yun's waist with one hand and leaned on Qin Yun's body. She said with charming smile, "This is even more comfortable." Water fairy, cultivate a bit more seriously. Zi Qingshang said with slight anger. Shui Tianzi playfully stuck out her tongue at Zi Qingsheng and happily leaned on Qin Yun's body. As long as their bodies touch each other, they will be able to cultivate together. After cultivating together for a few days, Qin Yun also stepped into third-level Immortal Emperor realm. Little Heavenly Lion, Little Divine Hammer, and Little Dragon are revolving around the Nether Sun. Every time they break through, the Nether Sun totems on their surface will increase. Qin Yun's Immortal Emperor realm is constantly strengthening these three Heavenly Tao powers. Heavenly Tao Ferocious Power, Heavenly Tao Fire Berserk Power, Heavenly Tao Arrogant Power. These three powers are very mysterious. Qin Yun cultivated them by accident. He can only use these three powers to fuse with the Nether Sun totems to strengthen himself. As for whether or not there are other uses, he has yet to unearth them. And in the Immortal Emperor realm, these three powers are constantly evolving and becoming stronger. Especially the Nether Sun totems on the surface. Qin Yun is becoming more and more confused. If he did not have the Nether Sun, he would not be able to control these strange totem runes. My Immortal Emperor Absolute Yang power has become a lot stronger through these Nether Sun totems. When Qin Yun fights, he directly uses the Immortal Emperor Absolute Yang power. Only the Nether Sun releases Immortal Emperor power. If he releases it through the three Heavenly Tao powers, the Immortal Emperor Absolute Yang power will double. If the Nether Sun totems appear on the surface of his body, the power will be even stronger. Under normal circumstances, he can directly use the Immortal Emperor Absolute Yang power to deal with opponents of the same level. If he is not a match, he can only release the Absolute Yang power through the three Heavenly Tao powers. If he is still not a match, he can only use the Nether Sun totems. Therefore, his power eruption has several stages. I broke through. Let's rest for now. Qin Yun sensed the Absolute Yang power after breaking through and said with smile, "MMM." Zi Qingxing nodded. Shui Tianzi pestered Qin Yun and kissed her. Qin Yun smiled and kissed her cheek. Then he also kissed Zi Qingxing and Long Tianji and let them return to the Nine Sun Divine Soul. Qin Yun put on his clothes, walked out of the small stone house, and headed towards Zhang, Shengxian's residence. In terms of cultivation, he didn't encounter any difficulties because it was very smooth during the joint cultivation. Coupled with his high comprehension, he didn't encounter too many obstacles. Inside Zhang Shengxian's large stone house, there's a very large hall. Apparently, it is used for fighting. Qin Yun is now waiting for Zhang Shengxian in this hall. Zhang Shengxian is wearing a white rune robe and holding a book in his hand. I haven't seen you for a few days, and you are already a level 3 Immortal Emperor? Zhang Shengxian sensed the aura of 3 Immortal Emperor power on Qin Yun's body and said with smile, "You must have been a level 2 Immortal Emperor for a long time, right?" Qin Yun only smiled. Actually, he has just broken through to level 2 Immortal Emperor. Life in Heaven Creation Mansion is quite peaceful. It seems like I just cultivate all day long. Qin Yun said, "That's not it. Sometimes I need you to go out and deal with those evil spirits and heavenly monsters." Zhang Shengxian handed over a book to Qin Yun and said, "These are some inscription techniques that I have organized. There are some Tao evolution runes, inscription battle techniques, and also a method to quickly grasp multiple runes." "Thank you very much." Qin Yun received the book and promptly expressed his thanks. No need to be polite. Your talent in inscription is very good. I heard from those people in the immortal desolate inscription world that your talent in inscription is extremely high. You even obtained their recognition. Zhang Shengxian said with smile. I also heard a lot about you. You're not as honest as the rumors say. Qin Yun said with smile. The nickname Qin Honest was given to me by other people. Stabbing 2 evil sons, destroying 2 altars, causing the Outer Heaven Domain Alliance army to suffer great losses. This kind of person is called honest. Zhang Shengxian doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. Zhang Shengxian, are the evil spirits and heavenly monsters really that hard to deal with? Qin Yun asked. Evil spirits and heavenly monsters are different. Ordinary heavenly monsters can be killed or even devoured as long as they can draw on the energy of divine cosmos golden stone. Zhang Shengxian said. The earth-drilling dog that Qin Yun had dealt with before was just an ordinary, powerful heavenly monster. In the eyes of many people, it was a very terrifying existence. However, it was killed by him in an instant. It was because he used a very strong divine universe metal stone power. Zhang Shengxian saw that Qin Yun is pondering. He paused and said again, the formation of evil spirits and heavenly monsters is formed by absorbing evil divine cosmos power. Evil divine cosmos power is evolved from ordinary divine cosmos power. Therefore, the divine cosmos power released by ordinary divine cosmos golden stone can easily be devoured by evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Qin Yun entered Creation Heaven City to master a secret technique to deal with evil spirits and heavenly monsters. This is very important to him. If he wants to run amok in Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, he must be able to quickly exterminate those evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Heaven Creation Divine Palace, Nanyang Divine Palace, and Divine Inscription Palace should be researching effective methods to deal with evil spirits and heavenly monsters, right? Can you teach me? Qin Yun asked. We have methods to deal with evil spirits and heavenly monsters, but they are not very effective. If those guys were really easy to deal with, there wouldn't be so many evil spirits and heavenly monsters in Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. We can only guarantee that Creation Heaven City won't be destroyed by Evil Dragon City, Zhang Shengxian said. Qin Yun sighed and said, Divine Cosmos Evil Dragon should be the root of all evil spirits and heavenly monsters in Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Can we really only seal this guy? Chapter 1866. Chapter 1866. Evil slaying divine talisman. Qin Yun looked at the holy talisman in his hand and sensed the holy power flowing within the runes. The bright lines of the runes are flickering, but the dark lines inside are flowing. This talisman's dark lines are carved with Dao Yin runes. How strong are the evil spirits and heavenly monsters can this evil slaying divine talisman deal with? Will it be useful? Qin Yun asked. This holy talisman can deal with 8th or 9th level immortal Emperor Realm evil spirits and heavenly monsters. If they can avoid it, this talisman will be wasted. You should have seen those evil spirits and heavenly monsters that turn into humans, right? Zhang Shengxian said. Qin Yun nodded and said, those guys are the same as humans. They are very strong in all aspects. They can indeed avoid it. That's why those evil spirits and heavenly monsters are very difficult to deal with. There aren't many of these evil-slaying divine talismans. It's very difficult to make them. If you encounter a very powerful evil spirit and heavenly monster, don't get entangled in a fight. It's best to run away immediately. Zhang Shengxian said, what if it's a king-grade immortal talisman? Qin Yun put away the evil-slaying divine talisman and said, the best evil-slaying immortal talisman should be able to deal with some 4th or 5th level immortal Emperor Realm evil spirits and heavenly monsters. It should be easy to make, right? Zhang Shengxian shook his head and said, no. Immortal Emperor power is not enough to kill evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Immortal Emperor power is also not enough to make those runes unleash even stronger power. Some talismans might need formidable holy power to be unleashed. Qin also plans to refine some immortal talismans because they are relatively easy to make. Also, the difficulty of making king-grade, evil-slaying immortal talisman is about the same as making evil-slaying divine talisman. Zhang Shengxian said, I understand, so I won't consider king-grade immortal talisman. There shouldn't be many inscription masters who can make this kind of talisman, right? Qin said, generally speaking, as long as one is a great inscription heavenly master, they can barely make it, but they need some assistance. Zhang Shengxian smiled and said, Qin, although you're only a little heavenly inscription master, I think you should be able to make it with your talent. I need sacred Xian silver crystal's assistance. I can give it a try. Qin is also eager. Since you can make it, it doesn't matter if it's not powerful enough. It's enough to deal with evil spirits and heavenly monsters whose cultivation is similar to yours. Zhang Shengxian said. Qin took the booklet and left Zhang Shengxian's large stone house. He returned to his small stone house and seriously read the booklet, memorizing the contents. Very quickly, he finished reading the contents and handed it over to Mo to let her learn those Dao Yin runes. Zhang Shengxian didn't impart many Dao Yin runes to me, only a few. Qin said, maybe it's because some Dao Yin runes can't be spread out, so they didn't give it to me. The Heaven Creation Divine Palace, the Nine Yang Divine Palace, and the Divine Inscription Palace must have grasped many good Dao Yin runes. Most of them must not be spread out. They are all very precious. Ling Yun'er said with a smile, these few are not bad. At least it will give you some inspiration. You have 9 basic Dao Yin runes. You can comprehend them and then develop even more Dao Yin runes. Qin closed his eyes and recalled the contents of the evil-slaying divine talisman. The evil-slaying divine talisman is rather peculiar. Because the dark lines are Dao Yin runes, when the talisman is used, it can transform into an axe, and then combined with some runes that can restrain evil spirits and heavenly monsters, it can cause great damage to evil spirits and heavenly monsters. If evil spirits and heavenly monsters can't dodge in time, they will be killed by the giant axe transformed from the evil-slaying divine talisman. Xiao Yun, you don't have to create an axe. Didn't you comprehend the star and moon sword rune? Ling Yun'er said with a smile. Your star and moon sword rune is much more powerful than those pure axe Dao Yin runes. The star and moon sword rune has 3 attributes: star, moon, and sword. And Qin has Star Lord, Moon Lady, and Weapon King. These 3 inscription spirits. As for the dark lines inside the evil-slaying divine talisman, they are only pure axe Dao Yin runes. They are far less powerful than the star and moon sword rune. The axe Dao Yin rune is one of the core of the evil-slaying divine talisman. I can indeed replace it with the star and moon sword rune. Qin smiled slightly and said, in addition to my overwhelming righteous power combined with saint power, the power should be even stronger. The other key rune of the evil-slaying divine talisman is the evil-suppressing divine rune, which belongs to the bright rune section. In general, the evil-slaying divine talisman is not complicated. It is only composed of 2 kinds of runes. The reason why it is difficult is because the Dao Yin rune section of the dark rune and the sacred rune section of the bright rune section are very difficult to carve. For the vast majority of inscription masters, to carve these 2 runes, not to mention it takes a long time, it is also very strenuous. In addition, if one doesn't have enough saint power, it is difficult to make a perfect sacred talisman. The Immortal Emperor realm is the transitional stage of immortal to sacred. In the Immortal Emperor realm, one begins to cultivate saint power, which is to transform immortal power into saint power and cultivate a sufficiently powerful sacred soul, sacred body. Qin is only at the 3rd level of the Immortal Emperor realm. Among his absolute yang power, immortal power accounts for the majority. There's also some saint power and a faint trace of divine power. Because he can often obtain the help of star gods, Qin Yun began cultivating divine power very early on. The cultivation technique he is currently cultivating also requires him to cultivate divine body. Among my absolute yang power, saint power is not too weak, and there's also a faint trace of divine power. The blood soul power condensed from the absolute yang power should be strong enough. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud divine needle and prepared to give it a try. Xiao Yun, it is better if you add enough saint power. This can make the sacred talisman even stronger. Ling Yun said. Qin Yun took out the pill transformation heavenly furnace and placed some sacred mysterious silver crystals inside. He can use the pill transformation heavenly furnace to refine sacred mysterious silver crystals into sacred mysterious gold crystals. Previously, he taught Zi Qingxing and others how to use the pill transformation heavenly furnace to refine sacred mysterious gold crystals. 100 portions of sacred mysterious silver crystals can only be refined into 1 portion of sacred mysterious gold crystal. The consumption is also relatively large. Qin Yun doesn't have many sacred mysterious silver crystals left. He still has about 10,000 genes left. He plans to go to the Divine Inscription Mountain to get some more after using them. Zi Qingxing and others used sacred mysterious gold crystals to make sacred talisman papers. The sacred mysterious gold crystal is a very small round bead. It is flickering with golden light. This is the first time Qin Yun is crafting evil-slaying sacred talisman. This is a process of fumbling around, so his speed is rather slow. If he mastered it, he would be able to carve it into the Gemini treasure mirror and then use the mirror to illuminate it. He would be able to quickly refine a lot. Evil-suppressing sacred rune is very good. It has very good effect against evil devil things. Qin Yun said. Mo came out and transmitted the evil-suppressing sacred rune into Qin Yun's memory through mental transmission. This way, Qin Yun can immediately master this rune. Otherwise, Qin Yun would need some time to completely memorize it. After Mo transmitted the evil-suppressing sacred rune to Qin Yun, she returned. Qin Yun used the floating cloud divine needle and released the needle's spirit into the needle, allowing it to carve the dragon transformation rune. Xiao Yun, the runes produced by your divine king heavenly seal seem to be very powerful. Ling Yun suddenly said, "Do you want to give it a try?" Qin Yun remembers that when the divine king heavenly seal was still the floating cloud heavenly seal, it could produce a very strong defensive power when it was imprinted on some things. Now that it is the divine king heavenly seal, Qin Yun has not tried what kind of effect it has. The divine king heavenly seal is transformed from a divine position. Although it can be used as a weapon, he is worried about damaging this precious divine position, so he did not use it in battle. I will give it a try. Qin Yun carved a dark rune on a light golden holy talisman paper. It is the star and moon sword rune. The star and moon sword rune is treated as a dark rune. It is hidden inside the holy talisman paper. No one can see what kind of rune it is. When Inscription Dome Masters fight, he can quickly draw the star and moon sword rune, let alone use the floating cloud divine needle. Of course, the star and moon sword rune he is drawing now is even stronger because it is the dragon transformation rune. The star and moon sword rune is completed very quickly. Next is the evil-suppressing sacred rune. The core of the evil-suppressing sacred rune is a dark rune, and it needs to be closely fused with the star and moon sword rune. The weapon rune used in the previous evil-slaying sacred talisman was an axe. Although it has now become the star and moon sword rune, Qin Yun can still quickly find a very perfect fusion point. He can fuse the core of the star and moon sword rune and the evil-suppressing sacred rune. This is his perception. With a little thought, he can fuse the core of 2 complex runes together. When he was carving runes, he absorbed a lot of sacred Xian gold crystals, saint power, and poured it into his blood spirit power. Of course, this kind of saint power is not strong enough. It is far inferior to the saint power of a sacred transformation expert like Zhang Shengxian. Qin also doesn't know how strong the evil-slaying sacred talisman he made will be in the end. He still has to find evil spirits and heavenly monsters to test it out. After tossing and turning for 2 or 3 days, Qin finally finished a evil-slaying sacred talisman. It went smoothly. Qin wiped his sweat, looked at the evil-slaying sacred talisman in his hand, and revealed a smile filled with a sense of accomplishment. Xiao Yun, you have to find evil spirits and heavenly monsters to test it out. Ling Yun said, go ask Zhang Shengxian if Heaven Creation City has caught evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Try using those evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Qin shook his head and said, even if they did, they wouldn't let me try. Evil spirits and heavenly monsters are very difficult to catch. They are very precious to them. Killing one is one less. Zhang Shengxian also said before that because of the appearance of Evil Dragon City, the originally leaderless evil spirits and heavenly monsters now have a common super strong boss. Therefore, those evil spirits and heavenly monsters are all gathered inside Evil Dragon City. Even if evil spirits and heavenly monsters go out, they're all wearing powerful equipment and go out in groups. It is very difficult to hunt them down. And inside Evil Dragon City, there are also Outer Heaven Domain Alliance Army, Alien Dragon Race, and Nanyang Palace people. That's true. We can only try again when we have the chance. Ling Yun said with smile. Qin walked out of the small stone house and took away the resources inside the box. Even if he doesn't take them out for a few days, they will still accumulate in the box. Just as he took away the bottles in the box outside the door, he sensed someone suddenly rushing over. He turned around and saw a beautiful woman wearing a snow-white dress. Her beautiful eyes have a trace of hidden bitterness as she said, Qin, why didn't you go to the assembly yesterday when the bell rang? The woman is Situ Xiao AI. I didn't hear it. Qin is somewhat surprised and said, Senior Sister Xiao AI, is it very important that the bell rang yesterday? Situ Xiao AI nodded and said, Heaven Creation Mansion's 4 great heavenly sons and 4 great heavenly daughters are going out to capture evil spirits and heavenly monsters for research. Oh, Qin said, this should have nothing to do with me, right? Chapter 1867. 1867 Chapter 1867 Monster Catching Operation Qin wants to carve the runes of the Devil Slayer Divine Talisman into the Gemini Treasure Mirror. He doesn't want to do anything else. Who arranged it? Is it Zhang Shengxian? I'll go find him and ask him to cancel my spot. Qin said, it's not Zhang Shengxian's arrangement. I drew you. Situ Xiao AI bit her lips and snorted with hidden bitterness. You have to go with me. Although the process is dangerous, don't worry, I will protect you. Can I not go? Qin wants to go, but now is not the time. No way. This is a mission given by Heaven Creation Palace's disciples. If you're absent this time, or if my team doesn't do well, our entire team will be punished and won't have cultivation resources for 3 months. Situ Xiao AI said, I want to quickly transform into a saint. I don't want to lose so many resources. Qin spread his hands and said with smile, if I go, I will only be a burden to you. If I don't go, if you don't say, who will know? Situ Xiao AI said in low voice, Qin, you are now a famous person. Everyone is watching you. If you are lazy and don't go, you will definitely be discovered. I gave a large piece of Divine Universe Golden Stone to Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Can't you give me some privileges? Qin curled his lips and said, my cultivation is too low. I am not suitable to participate in this kind of operation. Everyone should know about it. How about this? You and I go find Zhang Shengxian. We will ask him. Situ Xiao AI also feels that it is not suitable for Qin to go out because it is too dangerous outside. All right. Qin nodded. Qin and Situ Xiao AI went to Zhang Shengxian's large stone house together. On the road, it caused many people to make a ruckus. because many disciples know that when Situ Xiao AI drew her own team member, she drew Qin Yun. Everyone in Heaven Creation City knows that Qin Yun was tricked by Elder Situ and suffered heavy losses. Now that Qin Yun and Situ Xiao AI are walking together, it caused many busybodies to make a ruckus. Situ Xiao AI is walking on the road. Her beautiful eyes are flickering with killing intent. Along the way, she is constantly grinding her jade teeth. Her appearance of gnashing her teeth and emitting killing intent is indeed very scary. Even people with big guts are scared to the point that they don't dare to speak. Qin Yun was very calm as he followed behind Situ Xiaoai with a composed expression. Inside the hall of Zhang Shengxian Stonehouse, Qin Yun and Situ Xiao AI are waiting for Zhang Shengxian. Not long after, Zhang Shengxian came out with two old men beside him. Greetings, Zhang Shengxian and the two Battle Palace elders. When Situ Xiao AI saw the elders come out, she quickly stood up and bowed. She was especially respectful towards the two Battle Palace elders. Qin Yun did not bow because he doesn't recognize these two Battle Palace elders. Xiao AI, why did you come here? Zhang Shengxian looked at Qin Yun and said, Is it about going out to capture evil spirits and heavenly monsters? Junior brother Qin's cultivation is too low. He's not suitable to follow my team. Because his situation is special, can Zhang Shengxian allow him to not participate in this operation? Situ Xiao AI said. The two Battle Palace elders were both wearing armor. They were tall and mighty. One of them, an old man with one eye, said coldly, How can this be? Since he entered the Heaven Creation Mansion, he must follow the rules of the Heaven Creation Mansion. The other old man with green eyes also said coldly, We allowed him to enter the Heaven Creation Mansion without taking the test and gave him double the resources. Is this not enough preferential treatment? Since he doesn't want to go out, then he should leave the Heaven Creation Mansion as soon as possible. The one-eyed old man looked at Qin Yun and groaned. If you don't experience danger, how can you stimulate your potential in a dangerous situation? This is a cultivation method to become stronger. If you're afraid of death, you can't become strong. You must often fight and challenge the things you fear. Only then can you become stronger. Even if you die, you must die in battle. The green-eyed old man's battle intent surged as he shouted. Qin Yun now understands what the Battle Palace elders do. They are all battle maniacs. What they do is to ensure the battle strength of Heaven Creation City. Zhang Shengxian said, Xiao AI, Qin Yun, you heard it. It's all right. You just need to be more careful when you go out this time. When the disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion face all kinds of difficulties, they need to solve them on their own. This is an opportunity to temper themselves. Xiao AI understands. I will sincerely follow your instructions. Situ Xiao AI lowered her head and said, then left the hall. Qin Yun also left. After walking out of Zhang Shengxian's large stone house, Qin Yun asked, What do the Battle Palace elders do? Heaven Creation God Palace has 4 great battle palaces. All of them cultivate powerful warriors. The warriors in the Battle Palace are all very brave and good at fighting. Situ Xiao AI said in low voice. Qin Yun, come with me. You should at least know how to run away, right? If you encounter any danger, just run away and leave the rest to me. Qin Yun doesn't want to go, but because he has something to do, he has no choice but to go now, so he can only follow. All right. Qin Yun nodded and asked, When are we leaving? Tomorrow. Can you go tomorrow? Situ Xiao AI said. Yes. Qin Yun feels that there is still time. He said with smile, I will go back and prepare now. Situ Xiao AI saw that Qin Yun is still smiling and said with slight annoyance, You don't seem to be afraid at all? See you tomorrow. Qin Yun hurriedly returned. He returned to his small stone house, took out the Gemini treasure mirror, and quickly carved a set of runes into it. In order to ensure an extremely high degree of finesse, he carved very seriously and spent more than half a day. Only late at night did he finish. After he finished, he took out a holy talisman paper, absorbed the saint power of the mysterious saint gold crystal and condensed it into blood soul power. Then he poured it into the Gemini treasure mirror. The Gemini treasure mirror released a ray of light that enveloped the holy talisman paper and imprinted the set of runes on it. Using the Gemini treasure mirror can make talismans very quickly, but there is a flaw. It consumes a lot of blood soul power. This is mainly because the runes inside the Gemini treasure mirror need to consume a lot of energy. Although the consumption is great, it can make evil-slaying divine talismans in a short period of time. The sky is about to brighten. Qin Yun made 2 evil-slaying divine talismans and rested for a while. After resting enough, he took a bath and changed into a set of clean, soft armor clothes. "Let's go." He opened the door and walked out of the small stone house. Situ Xiao AI is waiting for him outside. Today, she has a long braid and is wearing light red skin-tight clothes. Although it looks like a skin-tight outfit, runes are flowing on the clothes. It is a set of clothes with extremely strong defensive power. It is made with very powerful Dao evolution runes. "My attire is so ugly today. What's there to look at?" Situ Xiao AI said in low voice. "I looked good yesterday, but you didn't pay attention to me." Situ Xiao AI saw Qin Yun twice before. Qin Yun did not look at her randomly, nor did he stare at her. This caused her to suspect that she is not beautiful enough to be unable to attract Qin honest attention. And today, she had no choice but to change into the battle attire that she doesn't like. This is also the battle attire that her father, Elder Sidu, found someone to make for her. She feels that the clothes are very ugly, but the Qin honest in front of her is entranced by them. These clothes are indeed a bit ugly. After Qin Yun came back to his senses, he laughed and said, "I am looking at the runes on your clothes. They're very powerful Dao evolution runes." In the past few days, Sidu Xiao AI also heard that Qin Yun came from Immortal Desolate and is an inscription master or something. However, many disciples of Heaven Creation Palace don't believe it. They only think that people from Immortal Desolate are bragging. In their eyes, how could an inscription master be so stupid as to be tricked by Elder Situ? Therefore, Situ Xiao AI also doesn't believe it. "Let's go," Situ Xiao AI said in low voice. "Other teams have already set off. We should also hurry up." Senior Sister Xiao AI, "How many people do we have in our team? What is their cultivation?" Qin Yun asked curiously. "A total of 5 people. Apart from you, they are all 9th level Immortal Emperor. Now you are the only one in Heaven Creation Palace. We must go out now and quickly find the other 3. "Oh, then let's go," Qin Yun said. "We only have 10 days. Within 10 days, we must capture an evil ghost and heavenly monster," Situ Xiao AI said again. She is already running with quick steps. Qin Yun is following behind her. Not long after, they left Heaven Creation Divine Palace. When Qin Yun went out, he secretly released a small lightning dragon. It is Long Tianji's small lightning dragon. He released Long Tianji's small lightning dragon to look for the nearby inscription Divine Mountain. He wants the inscription Divine Mountain to follow him. If he encounters danger, he will bring Situ Xiao AI to hide inside the Divine Inscription Mountain. He has seen how powerful evil ghosts and heavenly monsters are. If they encounter very strong evil ghosts and heavenly monsters, forget about Situ Xiao AI. Even sacred transformation experts might not be able to defeat them. It is already very difficult for Heartless Immortal to deal with ordinary heavenly monsters, let alone those even stronger evil ghosts and heavenly monsters. Of course, there are also some evil ghosts and heavenly monsters with ordinary strength. The group of evil ghosts and heavenly monsters that besieged Yi Shaosong before are not very strong. Senior Sister Xiao AI. There are only 8 teams in this operation. Each team has 5 people. That's only 40 people. Qin Yun said. The reason why we 4 heavenly sons and 4 heavenly daughters have so many resources is because we have to participate in every operation and we have to take the lead. When there is an operation, we 8 heavenly sons and heavenly daughters will separately select team members. Those with good luck will not be selected. Those with bad luck will be selected. Like you. Situ Xiao AI said. Even if I am not in Heaven Creation Palace, I still have to participate if I am selected. Qin Yin said with frown. It is very harsh. As long as I don't die, I have to participate. Situ Xiao AI took out her jade token and said, I will now sense the other 3 team members. We will talk after we find them. After Situ Xiao AI brought Qin Yun into a mountain forest, she suddenly became very vigilant. Qin Yun did not expect that this beautiful and elegant woman is actually very proficient in this kind of dangerous operation. Senior Sister Xiao AI, have you killed evil ghosts and heavenly monsters? Qin Yun suddenly asked. I have killed a few. What about you? Have you seen evil ghosts and heavenly monsters? Situ Xiao AI is also very curious and said, I heard you hid in Heaven Creation City because you were afraid of being chased and killed, right? I have seen Divine Cosmos Evil Dragon. Qin Yun felt very sad when talking about this matter because he is still not sure about Qin Long's situation. No wonder. Divine Cosmos Evil Dragon must know that you have Divine Cosmos Golden Stone. Situ Xiao AI is somewhat amazed. She doesn't know about this matter. Within the mountain forest, a cool breeze is blowing gently. Situ Xiao AI suddenly stopped. A net suddenly fell in front of her, almost covering her. It is very thrilling. Chapter 1868. Trader before Qin Yun could even react. Situ Xiaoai has already brought him high up into the sky. They're flying at a very fast speed, and there are several powerful auras chasing after them. He didn't expect those evil spirits and heavenly monsters to know how to set a trap to catch people. It was like hunting in the wild. This time, they were going out to capture the evil spirits and monsters. They didn't expect the evil spirits and monsters to capture them as well. Senior Sister Xiao AI, I can fly. My speed is not slow. Qin Yin suddenly said. Situ Xiao AI ignored him and continued to increase her speed, flying through the air. Qin Yin looked behind him, but he could not see any evil spirits or heavenly monsters. He could only sense a few auras coming from behind him. Situ Xiao AI's beautiful face was full of seriousness. She frowned slightly, holding the long sword in one hand and grabbing Qin Yun's wrist with the other. The powerful ninth heaven's immortal sovereign energy in her body was steady and vigorous, releasing it slowly but full of energy to increase her speed. Not only was she flying at high speed, but she was also preparing for battle. Qin Yun can now see that Situ Xiaoai is very experienced. Previously, Heaven City should have been hidden in the depths. Even if it was hidden, it would have to face evil spirits from time to time. The Heaven Creation Abode was a place to cultivate elite disciples in the Heaven Creation City. As one of the 4 great holy daughters of the Heaven Creation Abode, Situ Xiao AI's level in all aspects was indeed extremely high. Xiao Yun, this senior sister Xiao AI is really amazing. She seemed to be able to feel that there was a trap, so she didn't take a step forward and then quickly reacted and took you out of the forest. Ling Yuner said, yes, otherwise we'll definitely fall into a fierce battle. Qin Yun praised Situ Xiaoai's prowess in his heart. If it were him, he might have been caught in that net. Evil spirits and heavenly monsters that had taken human form were indeed very difficult to deal with. Qin Yun felt that it was necessary for him to find Shimenda Zhuang and get him to impart the dermic formulation that allowed him to sense evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Back then, when the Divine Inscription Mountain came to the Cloud Dragon Mountain range, Shimenda Zhuang sensed the evil spirits and heavenly monsters the moment he went out. At that time, there were no evil spirits and heavenly monsters in the vicinity. Shimenda Zhuang's ability was also taught to him by Tian Daozi. Senior Sister Xiao AI, how did you know there was an ambush? Qin Yun asked. He felt that if he constantly released his powerful mental energy, he might be able to discover it. He just felt that the evil spirits and heavenly monsters wouldn't hide to ambush people, much less set up traps or anything like that. That was why he let his guard down after entering the forest. Sidhu Xiao AI did not reply. Instead, she continued flying for a while and slowly landed in a mountain forest. The trees in this mountain forest look like long spears. They're standing upright on the mountain and flat ground. Sensing those hunters is something that we must master, Sidhu Xiao AI said as she felt more at ease after coming to this forest. What dermic formulation is it? Can I learn it? Qin Yun's research on the wraiths was insufficient. Xiao Holy, Zhang Tian Xiao Yun. If I tell you now, I will you? Xiao Tian, it Yun to the Tao, it Yun to the evil spirits, and suddenly he to the Yun, to Yun, Xiao long heaven. Sidhu Xiao AI vigilantly looked all around and said in low voice, after the evil dragon city's divine cosmos evil dragon broke the seal, all the evil spirits and heavenly monsters united. Moreover, they also have a direction. They mainly want to target our heaven creation city or capture some humans outside. Qin Yun said with frown. In the Cloud Dragon Mountain range, wouldn't other human sects become food for the evil spirits and heavenly monsters? Evil spirits and heavenly monsters love to eat people. Those evil spirits and heavenly monsters that have not transformed into human form rely on eating people to transform into human form. There are many big and small sects in the Cloud Dragon Mountain range. If they were besieged by a large number of evil spirits and heavenly monsters, it would be very dangerous. I don't know. In short, Heaven Creation Divine Palace should send people to contact those sects and unite them as much as possible. Sidhu Xiao AI took out a jade token. It is used to sense other companions. The team has a total of 5 people. Sidhu Xiao AI now wants to find the other 3 members. Those 3 members left the Heaven Creation City earlier and are currently scouting outside. Since Sidhu Xiao AI drew them as members, she must go find them. Sidhu Xiao AI said, "We need to quickly find the other 3 companions. With them together, it will be even safer. Flying in the air is faster. Why aren't we flying?" Qin followed behind Sidhu Xiao AI. Flying fast will leave behind a lot of energy fluctuations. It will be easy to detect. Flying as little as possible can avoid being detected by evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Sidhu Xiao AI also restrained her aura. Qin closed his eyes. He was unable to sense Sidhu Xiao AI's presence. He could only smell the faint fragrance on her body. Unless he used a very strong mental power, he would not be able to sense that she was nearby. Of course, if he released the gravity domain, he would be able to sense it completely. Qin Yun doesn't know if the Divine Inscription Mountain could follow him. Sidhu Xiao AI brought him flying quite far away just now. Sidhu Xiao AI brought Qin Yun and walked for more than 2 hours in this forest filled with giant trees like spears. Then she suddenly stopped. There's a situation. It's not evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Someone is nearby. Sidhu Xiao AI said in a low voice. I wonder if it's someone from Heaven City. Qin Yun, hide first. Hide well. Why not run? Qin Yun said, just fly in the air like before. There are a lot of people nearby. If we want to run, we won't be able to. We can only fight. Sidhu Xiao AI urged, quickly hide. Qin Yun used mysterious penetration divine ability and charged towards a large tree. The trees here have very large trunks. It would take more than 10 people to encircle them. Qin Yun hid inside the large tree. Through the divine tree totem, he can temporarily fuse with the tree. His aura will be completely concealed by the tree. As long as it is not a very heaven-defying person, it will be very difficult to detect him hiding inside the tree. Sidhu Xiao AI is very shocked to see that Qin Yun can enter the large tree. She is also unable to sense Qin Yun's aura. Just as Qin Yun hid, some people flew over. He can see the situation outside from inside the large tree. There are 5 people flying over, 3 men and 2 women. They're all wearing a kind of grayish-black battle armor. They're all dressed in battle attire. I didn't expect that we would actually meet one of the four great heavenly daughters, Situ, Xiao, Ai. The leader is a long-haired, handsome man. His eyes flickered with blue light. He smiled devilishly. Lu Chuanyu? Situ, Xiao, Ai recognized the handsome, long-haired man and said in shock, "Why didn't you return to Creation Heaven City all these years? We all thought you went missing." Beside Lu Chuanyu, a purple-haired fox-charming woman leaned on Lu Chuanyu's body, gently caressed Lu Chuanyu's face, and said with a hoarse voice, "Lu Chuanyu is a disciple of our heaven-defying sect." When Qin Yun heard the purple-haired fox-charming woman speak in a man's voice, he is very sure that this woman is a man. The two women who came together with Lu Chuanyu seem to be men. Heaven-defying sect is still an ally of Evil Dragon City. Evil Dragon City is my Creation Heaven City's natural enemy. Lu Chuanyu, you are betraying Creation Heaven City. Situ Xiao Ai angrily said and pointed her sword at Lu Chuanyu. Lu Chuanyu said with smile, "Situ Xiao Ai, Creation Heaven City is about to perish. My choice to join Heaven-defying sect was correct." Ha ha. You might not know, but many people who you thought were missing actually joined Heaven-defying sect. Little sister, you also joined Heaven-defying sect, right? I will take good care of you. The purple-haired woman laughed sinisterly with a man's voice. The other red-haired woman's voice is extremely wretched. It is also a man's voice. She laughed and said, "Little sister, we will take good care of you here and let you feel the love of our heaven-defying sect." Situ Xiao Ai is very calm. She said coldly, "Lu Chuanyu, how did you know I was here? You seem to have come here." Lu Chuanyu took out a jade token and said with smile, "I sensed it through this." In Creation Heaven Mansion, if one's status is high enough, their identity jade token can sense other disciples. Because Qin Yun joined Creation Heaven Mansion without examination, he does not have this kind of real Creation Heaven Mansion identity jade token. The jade token in his hand is relatively ordinary. "You traitor!" Situ Xiao Ai clenched her sword. Her face is full of killing intent. Creation Heaven City has treated you well. Why do you betray Creation Heaven City like this? Qin Yun can imagine that Lu Chuanyu must have brought many heaven-defying sect people to ambush other Creation Heaven Mansion disciples. Situ Xiao Ai, your talent is good. Back then, you were also a goddess in my heart. You were unattainable to me. But now, you will soon become our plaything. Lu Chuanyu laughed sinisterly. It is too oppressive in Creation Heaven City. I can't use my powerful strength to play with arrogant women like you. That's why I joined Heaven-defying sect. Since joining Heaven-defying sect, I can do whatever I want, ha. Situ Xiao Ai gritted her teeth. She wanted to escape, but Qin Yun is still here. Senior sister Xiao Ai, you run, don't worry about me. Qin Yun suddenly sent a sound transmission to Situ Xiao Ai and said, "Those guys are not easy to deal with, and there seems to be many heaven-defying sect people nearby." Situ Xiao Ai also used her mental power to send sound transmission to Qin Yun. "You hide, don't come out." At this time, Lu Chuanyu and others all took out their weapons. Situ Xiao Ai, I heard that Qin Yun entered Creation Heaven Mansion and was cheated by your father into taking away that big divine universe golden stone. Lu Chuanyu said, "You are really well informed." Situ Xiao Ai snorted. Creation Heaven City is not a monolithic block. There are many of our spies. Lu Chuanyu proudly smiled and said, "As long as I capture you, your father will exchange that divine universe golden stone with me. Right? Wishful thinking. Even if I die, I won't let you threaten my father." Situ Xiao Ai said angrily. She also took out a talisman and prepared to fight. Situ Xiao Ai, let me tell you, Qin Yun is not some Qin honest. He was tricked by your father. He will definitely retaliate. Lu Chuanyu chuckled and said, "Qin Yun's father was killed by Lord Evil Dragon. Although his soul escaped, it is no different from death. Qin Yun will definitely think of a way to use the power of your creation heaven city to avenge his father. Chapter 1869. Honest Man takes action. There is a dragon rune heavenly saber inside Qin Yun's 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon. The 9 dragon heavenly origin formation inside is ready to fire. Xiao Yun, father's soul escaped. That's what that guy said. Ling Yun said, it seems like Princess and Yi is right. Father can be reborn with the help of the God position totem. That bastard divine universe evil dragon. I must kill him. Qin Yun tightly clenched the flute-like 9 Heavens Dragon Lion cannon in his hand. His heart is filled with fury. As long as we enter the immortal graveyard and find Father's true body, he will be reborn immediately. Ling Yun warned, before that, don't do anything stupid, don't be impulsive. Qin Yun looked at the situation outside and said in his heart, Yunner, those guys should not be very strong. Only Lu Chuanyu's cultivation is the same as senior sister Xiao Ai's. Indeed, although those 4 guys have very strong immortal emperor aura on their bodies, is all fake. Ling Yun said, the aura of immortal emperor power on those 4 guys is fake. It is to scare people. Sidu Xiao Ai cannot see through the other 4's fake cultivation, mainly because she cannot see the immortal emperor power inside their bodies. Qin Yun used Extinction Spirit I to directly see the immortal emperor power flowing inside their bodies. Only 5 strands of immortal emperor force were circulating inside their bodies. The reason they could disguise themselves was due to the thick grayish-black armor they were wearing. Inside the thick battle armor, a large amount of 9th-level immortal emperor power is poured into it. After discovering this, Qin Yun sent voice transmission to Sidu Xiao Ai and said, Senior sister Xiao Ai, other than Lu Chuanyu, the other guys are only 5th-level immortal emperor. Sidu Xiao Ai thought that Qin Yun would suddenly jump out because she knows that Qin Yun's father was killed. She secretly sympathized with him. Sidu Xiao Ai, come with me. I promise to let you experience the greatest happiness in life. Lu Chuanyu laughed loudly and suddenly rushed towards Situ Xiao Ai. Situ Xiao Ai also threw out the talisman in her hand. I am not afraid of this kind of broken talisman. Lu Chuanyu waved his hand. A big bag appeared and put the talisman inside. The talisman did not explode and was immediately suppressed. Situ Xiao Ai's figure flickered, and she turned into a shadow, rushing toward the 2 androgynous people. She wanted to test if the others were really only at the 5th stage of the immortal emperor realm. Lu Chuanyu sneered. I alone am enough to deal with you. Your opponent is me. Situ Xiao Ai, who was just about to rush over, had no choice but to dodge Lu Chuanyu's saber strike. She did not continue to rush over to the others. At this moment, Situ Xiao Ai could confirm that the cultivation of those people was not high. If she only had to deal with Lu Chuanyu, the pressure would not be too great. Senior sister Xiao Ai finished the battle quickly. There are many heavenly monsters nearby. Qin Yun said again. Situ Xiao Ai is also fighting with Lu Chuanyu. She is trying her best to stay away from Qin Yun's tree to avoid damaging it. The 4 people who came with Lu Chuanyu were watching the battle very seriously and followed behind Situ Xiao Ai and Lu Chuanyu. Situ Xiao Ai is getting farther and farther away from Qin Yun. As for Qin Yun, he cast his penetration divine ability and secretly followed them. He constantly moved between the tree trunks without being discovered. He is holding the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon in his hand, ready to attack at any time. Qin Yun can sense that Situ Xiao Ai is a very responsible person, so he will not abandon her. In a spacious area ahead, Situ Xiao Ai and Lu Chuanyu are fighting very fiercely. Saber Light and Sword Shadow, 2 formidable 9th-stage immortal emperor power collided and set off a storm. Qin Yun is hiding in a big tree beside the spacious area. He is also secretly amazed. Situ Xiao Ai, who looks like a refined and elegant woman, is actually very fierce when fighting. Lu Chuanyu has been stabbed several times. Because he is wearing a thick armor, the swords can't directly injure his body. They can only shake him away. The four people watching from the side are constantly shouting and cheering for Lu Chuanyu. Sidu Xiao AI is having a hard time fighting. Lu Chuanyu's armor is very strong. Her sword is not very good. It is not as strong as the armor. If this goes on, her weapon will be destroyed. Qin Yun feels that Situ Xiaoai can run away because among those few people, only Lu Chuanyu has genuine power. The others are just following Lu Chuanyu to scare people. Big brother Lu, do you want us to take action? A young man suddenly shouted. If we take action, we will definitely be able to capture her. No need. I can take care of her by myself. You guys just watch from the side. Lu Chuanyu said with very confident smile. You guys just watch. I will immediately capture her alive. The purple-haired woman laughed loudly with a man's voice and said, If you can't handle her, then we will take action. In short, this woman will not be able to escape today. These people are creating psychological pressure on Sidu Xiao AI. They want her to feel that even if she wins against Lu Chuanyu, she will not be able to escape even if she grows wings. They are only bluffing. Qin Yun is in the vicinity of these people. He is thinking of a way to take down these four people in one go. Bastard of the heaven-defying sect. When Qin Yun heard the three words heaven-defying sect, he thought of Shui Yihui and Triple Radiance. Shui Yihui and Triple Radiance were tortured so painfully by the heaven-defying sect. He has always remembered this debt. Qin Yun took out the four-life, sealing, soul-devouring lock and suddenly flashed out. He gathered all the power in his body and used the suffering divine ability. The power of the suffering divine ability suddenly surged out and enveloped the four people. One must know that the suffering divine ability is a type of mental power attack. Qin Yun used the one-thought Imperial Heaven Art to activate his mental power, triggering the suffering divine ability and causing an even stronger mental attack. After being enveloped by the power of the suffering divine ability, the four people's minds were attacked, and they felt endless pain all over their bodies. The powerful mental power not only caused the mental pain, it also affected their bodies. They were all 5th-level Immortal Emperor realm, and their cultivation was slightly higher than Qin Yun's. The power of the suffering divine ability only lasted for a short period of time before they broke free. Just as they broke free from the restraints of the suffering divine ability, they suddenly felt something drilling into their heads and entering their bodies from their heads. It's the life-sealing, soul-devouring lock. After the 4 life-sealing, soul-devouring locks were released by Qin Yun, they were like very flexible snakes, releasing a strange power. Through the heads, they drilled into the four people's bodies, then locked their bodies and began to devour their souls. The four people immediately fell to the ground and screamed miserably. That kind of screams sounded very creepy. Lu Chuanyu, who was fighting, saw the four people screaming and rolling on the ground, bleeding from their 7 orifices. He was so scared that his hair stood on end. It's the life-sealing, soul-devouring lock. Lu Chuanyu shouted in shock. Situ Xiao AI, who is that guy? I didn't expect you to know someone from the heaven-defying sect. He actually has the life-sealing, soul-devouring lock. The life-sealing, soul-devouring lock was very precious, even in the heaven-defying sect. Sidu Xiao AI was very surprised. She didn't expect that Qin Yun not only didn't run, but also followed the four people and used the life-sealing, soul-devouring lock. The flute-shaped, 9 heavens dragon lion cannon in Qin Yun's hand suddenly pointed at Lu Chuanyu. An intense 9-colored light beam shot out. This is the light beam shot by the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. Lu Chuanyu was shocked. The person who looks like a 3rd-stage immortal emperor is actually so powerful. After the 9-colored light beam approached him, it suddenly exploded and a scorching heat wave rushed out. The moment Lu Chuanyu was disturbed, Situ Xiao AI's long sword surged forward violently. The sword energy condensed into a huge wave and covered Lu Chuanyu's body, as if it wanted to smash the earth. In the blink of an eye, the sword energy surged in all directions, emitting all kinds of sharp, whistling sounds. It is like countless energy blades fell on Lu Chuanyu's body, cutting his handsome face beyond recognition. Boom! Situ Xiao AI slammed her palm down from the sky. Her palm energy condensed into a huge flame, white lotus. After pressing Lu Chuanyu to the ground, it burst out a fierce flame. "Let me!" Qin Yun shouted and released the heaven and earth devil sealing goblet to cover Lu Chuanyu. The transparent heaven and earth devil sealing goblet enveloped Lu Chuanyu. Lu Chuanyu frantically attacked inside. After being attacked, the heaven and earth devil sealing goblet absorbed Lu Chuanyu's energy and condensed it into berserk thunder and lightning, causing Lu Chuanyu to scream miserably. Qin Yun took out the life-sealing soul-devouring lock from those four people and used mysterious penetration divine ability to send it into the heaven and earth devil sealing goblet to bind Lu Chuanyu. Lu Chuanyu shouted in despair. "Xiao AI, quickly stop him. Don't let him use the life-sealing soul-devouring lock." Situ Xiao AI gasped for breath a few times. She really did not expect that Honest Sheen would have so many tricks up his sleeves. With just 2 or 3 moves, he reversed the situation and made Lu Chuanyu beg for mercy. "Quickly go, evil ghosts and heavenly monsters are coming." Situ Xiao AI lightly yelled. Qin Yun controlled the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon to kill those 4 people. Then he used the Nether Spirit's sacred blade inside to absorb the remnant souls. Then he stored the heaven and earth devil sealing goblet and left with Situ Xiao AI. If a large group of powerful evil ghosts and heavenly monsters follow them, it'll be very difficult to deal with them. Lu Chuanyu and those few people are not evil ghosts and heavenly monsters. They're just disciples of heaven-defying sect, so they are relatively easy to deal with. Situ Xiao AI brought Qin Yun far away from the battlefield. The sky turned dark. Qin Yun and Situ Xiao AI are resting in a mountain forest. They arrived at another area. The trees in this area look like huge mace with many sharp thorns. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda and brought Situ Xiao AI inside. Situ Xiao AI sat on the soft chair Qin Yun gave her. She looked all around and felt that this place is filled with security. Qin Yun took out the heaven and earth devil sealing goblet, and Lu Chuanyu let out a weak roar. 4 life-sealing, soul-devouring lock have drilled into his body. Qin Yun, where did you get these life-sealing, soul-devouring lock? Situ Xiao AI feels that she must get to know this honest Qin. "I took them from the body of my inscription gate's disciple." Qin Yun said. "Senior sister Xiao AI, you should know that I have an inscription gate, right?" Qin Yun's inscription gate, Divine Mountain, is very famous. This is what the inscription masters from the inscription world said. Chapter 1870. Qin Yun indeed told Elder Situ that his divine inscription mountain was destroyed. This is to let Elder Situ spread the news so that the divine inscription mountain won't be remembered. Situ Xiao AI didn't believe that Qin Yun could destroy the altar and defeat Xie Yang, but now she has no choice but to believe. "Qin Yun, you are Qin Yun?" Lu Chuanyu looked at Qin Yun and exclaimed, "You, how can you be with Situ Xiao AI?" Lu Chuanyu also heard of Qin Yun's methods. Heaven-defying sect, alliance army, mutated dragon race, demon immortal great emperor, and other evil forces have joined forces. They know Qin Yun the best. When the divine cosmos evil dragon woke up, Qin Yun was at the scene, and he even ran away. Therefore, heaven-defying sect people also understood Qin Yun's situation very clearly from Nanyang Palace. Heaven and I sect once destroyed Cloud Dragon Mountain Range Inscription Gate and used life-sealing soul, devouring lock, on Shui, Yi Hui, and others. Later, life-sealing soul-devouring lock was taken away by Qin Yun. Therefore, Heaven and I sect wants to capture Qin Yun. Yes, I am Qin Yun. Heaven and I sect destroyed my inscription gate. I will make you pay 10 times the price. Qin Yun said coldly. Lu Chuanyu, I haven't used the life-sealing soul-devouring lock yet. If you don't want to be tortured by 4 life-sealing soul-devouring lock, you better cooperate with me. I will definitely cooperate with you. Lu Chuanyu quickly knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Qin Yun. You really have no guts, Qin Yun said with sneer. I will ask, and you will answer. I will tell you what I know. Lu Chuanyu has been in Heaven and I sect for a few years. He is very clear about the power of life-sealing soul-devouring lock. He has 4 life-sealing soul-devouring lock on his body. If he is tortured, it will be extremely painful. How many people from Heaven Creation City joined Heaven and I sect? Qin Yun asked, especially the disciples from Heaven Creation Palace. You must honestly tell us. After he finished asking, Situ Xiao AI also walked over, coldly looked at Lu Chuanyu and shouted, Lu Chuanyu, you must provide us with a list. In this matter, Situ Xiao AI is very cautious. She is also worried that Lu Chuanyu will frame others. After all, this kind of traitor can do anything. Lu Chuanyu trembled and hurriedly said more than 10 names, all of which were disciples of the Heaven Creation sect. After he finished speaking, Situ Xiao AI's expression turned solemn and gloomy. Is this true? Situ Xiao AI asked coldly. It's true. These people were still in the Heaven Creating Mansion. They were the ones who provided us with the information for your mission this time. We and many evil spirits and heavenly monsters have been dispatched to ambush and capture you. Lu Chuanyu's face is full of fear. He looked at Qin Yun and said, As long as I see those people, I can prove that they betrayed Heaven's city. Situ Xiao AI looked at Qin Yun and said, Can you bring him back and hand him over to Zhang Shangxian? Of course, Qin Yun said. Don't torture me. I will definitely cooperate with you. Lu Chuanyu pleaded as he looked at the wriggling chains on his body. Qin Yun waved his hand and kept the 3 life-sealing soul-devouring lock. He said, Continue to answer my questions. Kneeling inside the heaven and earth devil sealing goblet, Lu Chuanyu frantically nodded. What happened to my father Qin Long in the end? Qin Yun's expression is very cold, causing Lu Chuanyu to shiver. He died. I heard that his body exploded, then his soul attached to his god-positioned totem and ran away. A large group of experts chased after him, but none of them were able to catch him. Lu Chuanyu said with trembling voice, This was all done by divine, cosmos, evil dragon. Qin Yun felt a lot more relieved in his heart. As long as Qin Long's soul is still there, there's a possibility of rebirth. Why did heaven-defying sect release divine, cosmos, evil dragon? Qin Yun asked. There are more than half evil spirits and heavenly monsters inside heaven-defying sect. This is the idea of those evil spirits and heavenly monsters. They are also controlled by divine, cosmos, evil dragon. Lu Chuanyu said, A large number of evil spirits and heavenly monsters in Cloud Dragon Mountain Range were born because of divine, cosmos, evil dragon. Although half of heaven-defying sect is human, those evil spirits and heavenly monsters are even stronger. Do you know what divine, cosmos, evil dragon wants to do next? Qin Yun asked again. Divine, cosmos, evil dragon appearing at this time is definitely not a coincidence. He wants to find a place. He said that place has sealed his heart. Only by taking back his heart can he once again dominate the 9 desolate. While speaking, Lu Chuanyu looked at the chains piercing his body from time to time. He is very worried that they will suddenly torture him. Where's that place? Qin Yun has an answer in his heart. It is the immortal graveyard. I don't know. Lu Chuanyu shook his head and said, Outer Heaven Domain Alliance Army, Variant Dragon Race, 9 Sun Palace, and Dark Royal Race. They are all searching for that place, but they don't have a single clue. Situ Xiao AI said, We are also searching for that place. Nobody knows where it is. We only know that it is in this Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Lu Chuanyu nodded and said yes. Heaven-defying sect is cooperating with other major factions to search the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. They are looking for clues. Immortal Graveyard is indeed very mysterious. This made Qin Yun feel even more relieved. At least Divine Cosmos Evil Dragon won't be able to find that place in a short period of time. Qin Yun thought for a bit and asked again, "Does your heaven-defying sect know the weakness of evil spirits and heavenly monsters?" Lu Chuanyu shook his head and said, "Heaven-defying sect doesn't know. Evil spirits and heavenly monsters are very difficult to deal with. Their body is very strong, and they have very strong divine cosmos power. If we fight, we humans will be at a disadvantage." Qin Yun nodded and asked, "Heaven-defying sect and those bastards from Immortal Desolate, they all know that I gave my Divine Universe Golden Stone to Heaven Creation Divine Palace. They all know. They are all scolding you, saying you are very stupid." Lu Chuanyu secretly looked at Situ Xiao AI. His mind is also in chaos because Qin Yun and Situ Xiao AI are together. Sun Altar, Evil Sun, and 9 Sun Palaces Flying Island. Where are they? Qin Yun is very concerned about those altars. Lu Chuanyu and Situ Xiao AI are startled in their hearts. Qin Yun is asking this. He must have some idea. They are all near Heaven-defying sect. Evil Dragon City is also nearby. "Sir, if you want to go, you must be careful. There are many powerful evil spirits and heavenly monsters inside Evil Dragon City." Lu Chuanyu said. Qin Yun stored the Heaven and Earth Devil Sealing Goblet. His expression is very solemn. "Qin Yun, don't act recklessly. Wait until you are strong enough." Situ Xiao AI already knows that Qin Yun is not honest at all. Otherwise, Lu Chuanyu would not have ended up like this. "Indeed, I am too weak now. Otherwise, I would not need to use so many tricks to deal with a bastard like Lu Chuanyu." Qin Yun shook his head and sighed. You really don't know the value of that Divine Universe Golden Stone? Do you really not have any hatred toward my father?" Situ Xiao AI said. Qin Yun said with smile, "I am very clear about the value of that Divine Universe Golden Stone. My mind is very clear." Situ Xiao AI sighed and said, "You must have other transactions, just that you did not say it because it is confidential." Qin Yun did not explain much. He only said with smile, "Senior Sister Xiao AI, you won't ask for the resources you gave me, right?" "I won't." Situ Xiao AI said, "If not for you, it would be very difficult for me to capture that guy. So long as I capture him, I will be able to catch all the traitors in Heaven Creation Palace." Qin Yun said, "Oh, that's right. Do you know any of the names on that guy's list?" "Yes. The other 3 companions of our 5-man squad are among them." Situ Xiao AI angrily clenched her jade-like fists and said with light snort, "If we go find them, we might fall into a trap. Let's quickly return to Heaven Creation City and inform Zhang Shengxian about this matter. Let him quickly gather the disciples back." Qin Yun said. Situ Xiao AI nodded and said, "Let's rest well and go back immediately." Qin Yun said, "All right, don't tell your father about the life-sealing, soul-devouring lock. I don't want them to know that I have this thing. I want to keep it for myself." "All right, this is yours to begin with." Situ Xiao AI nodded and said, "Many thanks." Qin Yun smiled slightly. "You're welcome." Situ Xiao AI said with light smile. After resting, Qin Yun and Situ Xiao AI began their journey back to Heaven Creation City. Qin Yun also wants to capture a few evil spirits and heavenly monsters for research. He wants to see if the power of the evil-slaying divine talisman he refined is strong enough. Evil spirits and heavenly monsters are very cunning. They know that we are out to capture them. Those who come out must be very powerful, and they are all in groups. Situ Xiao AI ran through the forest and passed by a place where a great battle took place. She said, "Heaven Creation Mansion must have suffered great losses this time." When the sky was about to brighten, Situ Xiao AI took out her jade tablet and it is shining. There are disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion nearby. Situ Xiao AI said in low voice. She seemed to want to go over, but after thinking about it, she bit her lips and put away the jade tablet. She continued to rush back to Heaven Creation City. Senior Sister Xiao AI, let's go over and take a look. What if they're in danger? We can save them if we can, Qingyun said. In fact, he wanted to go over and see if the other party has caught any evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Qingyun previously captured heaven-defying sects, evil spirits, and heavenly monsters. Those evil spirits and heavenly monsters were not very strong, and they were tortured to death by the life-sealing soul-devouring lock. They were unable to test the power of the evil, slaying, divine talisman. All right, Sidhu Xiao AI also wants to help. After all, they're all disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion. However, she feels that returning to Heaven Creation City is also very important. Sidhu Xiao AI took Qingyun and rushed to the nearby location of the Heaven Creation Mansion's disciples. Not long after, they felt an extremely evil aura. Evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Sidhu Xiao AI took out her long sword and said in a low voice with a serious expression, Qingyun, quickly hide. Qingyun pulled Sidhu Xiao AI and entered a huge tree together. After entering the giant tree, Sidhu Xiao AI is very surprised because the inside of the giant tree is emitting a faint white light that wrapped around them. This is the ability that Qingyun comprehended through the tree totem. Entering the inside of the tree is like entering a warm and bright embrace. After hiding in the tree, a few figures suddenly appeared in the forest. They are 4 dark-skinned men. They are holding bloody broadswords in one hand and heads in the other. Those heads are the heads of Heaven Creation Mansion's disciples. Chapter 1871. Divine Marrow Blood. Chapter 1871. Divine Marrow Blood. The 4 evil spirits and heavenly monsters sensed that someone is here and immediately rushed over. Although Qingyun and Sidhu Xiao AI are hiding inside the tree and completely concealed their aura, the evil spirits and heavenly monsters' perception is very strong, and they can sense that someone is still nearby. There must have been someone here just now. Moreover, there were 2 of them. It is impossible for these humans to run so fast. Even if they ran very fast, their aura must have been left behind. A big man swung his large saber to get rid of the blood on it. Qingyun and Sidhu Xiao AI inside the tree can see that these big men's mouths are full of blood. It is clear that they have eaten human flesh before, and they even ate it raw. Facing such powerful evil spirits and heavenly monsters, the disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion can also fight one-on-one. A small team of Heaven Creation Mansion has 5 people, but now they have been killed by these 4 evil spirits and heavenly monsters. This is very unusual. What Sidhu Xiao AI finds it hard to understand is that these 5 evil spirits and heavenly monsters are not injured at all. It seems like they smoothly killed the 4 disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion and beheaded them. Senior Sister Xiao AI, are these evil spirits and heavenly monsters so strong? Most of the disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion are 9th level immortal emperors, right? How could they die so quickly? This is too weak. Qingyun is also very puzzled and sent voice transmission to Sidhu Xiao AI. I don't know, but I have a guess. They were betrayed. A small team has 5 people, and there are only 4 here. Could it be that they were betrayed by the captain? Because of Lu Chuanyu's precedent, Sidhu Xiao AI has this kind of speculation. This is also very reasonable. If they were not betrayed, it would be impossible for 4 powerful disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion to be so easily beheaded. Do you know whose small team this is? Qingyun asked. Those heads are badly damaged. I can't tell. Sidhu Xiao AI shook her head. She is secretly glad that she brought Qingyun with her. Otherwise, she would have been killed by those traitors. If it was really done by the captain of the small team, then it means that the captain is one of the 4 heavenly daughters and 4 heavenly sons. Qingyun is somewhat amazed. He asked Sidhu Xiao AI through voice transmission, heavenly daughters and heavenly daughters, could they be traitors? Who's the biggest suspect? This is also the reason why Sidhu, Xiao, AI, can't be sure that her guess is correct. The heavenly sons and daughters of Heaven Creation Mansion came from Heaven Creation Divine Palace, Divine Inscription Palace, and Nine Yang Divine Palace. In Heaven Creation City, they all have extremely high status. With such a high position, it was impossible for him to be a traitor. Situ Xiao AI was silent. She felt fear in her heart. There was such a terrifying traitor in Heaven City. If she did not uncover him, the consequences would definitely be very serious. The four dark-skinned men were evil ghosts and heavenly monsters. They were very sure that someone was hiding nearby, so they did not leave. Instead, they searched carefully. Situ Xiao AI was alone, and there was no way she could win against four powerful evil spirits and heavenly monsters. As such, she could only hide. Half a day had passed, but the four wraiths had yet to leave. Instead, they took out some arms from their storage treasures and walked around while eating. Qin Yun cursed inwardly. He thought he would be able to leave by nightfall. He never expected the four wraiths to still be there. These guys are really persistent. Qin Yun sent voice transmission to Situ Xiao AI. The two of them are very close to each other inside the big tree. At first, Situ Xiao AI was not used to it. After all, she has never been in close contact with a man she is not very familiar with for so long. Evil ghosts and heavenly monsters are like this. This is their nature. When they are sure that there are people nearby, they will wait for a long time before leaving. Situ Xiao AI said. Previously, she was worried that she would be discovered, but after a period of time, she felt that it is very safe inside the big tree. The environment inside the big tree is also very good. It is a warm and luminous space. There's also a very fresh air flowing inside. Qin Yun, what kind of technique is this? Can you teach me how to miraculously hide inside the big tree? Situ Xiao AI very much wants to master this technique. After she finished asking, she added, "Don't worry, I won't let you teach me for nothing. I have mastered a Dao technique. I can teach it to you." Dao technique is very difficult to learn. Qin Yun shook his head. Your technique must also be very difficult to master, right? Exchanging Dao technique with me, you won't suffer a loss. Situ Xiao AI said, Dao technique doesn't need to be mastered. Generally speaking, mastering a Dao technique and mastering it will allow one to gain boundless benefits. Qin Yun's Heavenly Might Dao technique is very suitable for him. Although he is not completely proficient in it, he can only comprehend the first few simple ones. However, it gave him very strong power. No, my technique to hide inside the big tree is very simple. I can let you learn it very easily, Qin Yun said with a smile. All right, I have a way to let you master my Dao technique very quickly. Situ Xiao AI said, my Dao technique doesn't have much content. It is a kind of ability Dao technique. Ability Dao technique is a kind of Dao technique that has special ability. Some are suitable for battle, some are not. What kind of Dao technique is it? Qin Yun suddenly became a bit interested. Just as Situ Xiao AI was about to reply, she heard a very familiar voice coming from outside. You guys, why are you still here? Someone suddenly spoke to those four evil ghosts and heavenly monsters. Qin Yun and Situ Xiao AI also saw a handsome man with extraordinary bearing. He is wearing white armor and is flying over from the pitch-black forest. That man is Situ Wushang. Situ Xiao AI is immediately stunned. She did not expect that the captain of that small team is actually her brother Situ Wushang. Situ Wushang is one of the four heavenly sons. He is also Elder Situ's son. He is actually a traitor of the Heaven Creation Mansion. Young Master Situ, we have been searching here for more than half a day. We still haven't found anyone hiding nearby, a large man said. Who in your Heaven Creation Mansion is so powerful that they can hide so well? Situ Wushang said with frown. What's going on? Is there really someone nearby? Those large men immediately told Situ Wushang about how they sensed someone coming over. Situ Wushang looked all around and said, I will take out my jade token to sense it. Sidhu Xiao AI is still in a daze. Her heart is filled with shock, anger, and sadness. Her brother is actually this kind of person. He took out his jade token. Qin Yun is very anxious. He promptly sent voice transmission to Sidhu Xiao AI. Quickly give me your jade token, quickly. Sidhu Xiao AI returned to her senses and promptly took out her jade token and gave it to Qin Yun. Previously, the heaven-leaping shuttle inside the Nine-Sun Divine Soul used several layers of space to separate the jade token so that it wouldn't be sensed. Heaven Creation Mansion's disciples can sense each other through their jade tokens. No Heaven Creation Mansion's disciples are nearby. Situ Wushang sensed with his jade token and said with smile, "It must be your misconception or some soul or something. We have a special perception towards living people. We can sense them. It's definitely not a misconception." Two guys indeed appeared nearby, and then suddenly disappeared. A large man said with certainty, "Did you get 4 prey today and eat them all?" Situ Wushang asked with smile, "Young Master Situ, are you still not returning to Heaven Creation City? You should have seen Lord Evil Dragon today, right?" The large man said, "You go back first. We will continue to look for those 2 people. We must find them." Situ Wushang said, "Lord Evil Dragon wants me to steal Divine Universe Golden Stones. This is going to be difficult. If it's done, what will Lord Evil Dragon give you?" A large man asked curiously, "Divine Universe Evil Dragon's Divine Essence Blood." Situ Wushang's eyes are immediately filled with fanaticism. Those 4 large men are also incomparably envious. If we can obtain Lord Evil Dragon's Divine Essence Blood, we can quickly cultivate a powerful divine body. A large man said with yearning, "That's right. So no matter what, I have to steal the Divine Universe Golden Stone that Qin Yun gave to the Heaven Creation God Palace." Situ Wushang said with smile, "I already have a way. I plan to capture my sister and use her to threaten my father to give me the Divine Universe Golden Stones." A large man said with smile, "Young Master Situ is truly brilliant. However, this will definitely be discovered. How will you stay in Heaven Creation City in the future? We need you to stay in Heaven Creation City." Situ Wushang laughed loudly and said, "I don't need to appear. I only need you to cooperate and capture my sister. At that time, my father will only think that you did it and won't blame me. My sister also won't know about this matter." Qin Yun is now even more aware of the power of Calamity Stone. Although Elder Sidu is only responsible for accepting his Divine Universe Golden Stones, he is now being targeted by many people. Even his son wants to harm him. He feels that if he did not follow Sidu Xiao AI here, she would have been captured long ago and used to threaten Elder Situ to steal the Divine Universe Golden Stones. Qin Yun looked at Situ Xiao AI beside him. Her expression is slightly cold. It is clear that she is very angry, but she is very calm. She is not unable to control her emotions. Qin Yun admires Situ Xiao AI's state of mind very much. He feels that if it were him, he would have already flipped out. "4 brothers, let's go. Don't look for anyone. No one is nearby." Situ Wushang said with mischievous smile, "We will bring you to capture more Heaven Creation Palace disciples. Don't waste time here." Those burly men hesitated for a moment, then nodded in agreement and left with Situ Wushang. After they left, Qin Yun waited for more than half an hour. Just as he was about to go out, he was pulled back by Situ Xiao AI. Situ Xiao AI shook her head and transmitted her voice to Qin Yun. "They didn't go far. They must still be nearby. If we go out, they will definitely come back immediately." Qin Yun thought about it carefully and understood. Situ Wushang deliberately took away the 4 evil spirits and heavenly monsters, then hid nearby and waited for them to come out. "Senior Sister Xiao AI, you are really calm. Even at this time, you can still think calmly." Qin Yun praised. "I know my brother. This bastard, I won't let him off. It is impossible for Situ Xiao AI not to hate." Qin Yun said, "This is not the way. Don't tell me we have to hide here for a long time. If those guys call for more helpers, it will be bad for us. Yes. So I plan to rush out and lure them away. Then you can return to Heaven Creation City to report. Situ Xiao AI said. Qin Yun faintly smiled, took out a few small lightning dragons, and said, luring them away is easy. We can try this first. He released a few small lightning dragons and quickly leaped in several directions. Chapter 1872. Holy Talisman's Power. Long Tianji used her special ability to condense small lightning dragons. It is a very mystical ability. Originally, she condensed small spiders. After becoming stronger, she condensed small lightning dragons. These small lightning dragons are very fast as lightning. Their body is very light. They are mainly made of energy. They don't have any attack power. Because their speed is very fast, when they flew out, those 4 very strong evil ghosts and heavenly devils felt extremely apprehensive. Chase, we can't let these guys run away. They heard our words just now. We can't let them get out. Situ Wushang shouted. He really did not expect that there would be something hiding nearby. They didn't realize that it is a small lightning dragon the size of a snake. They only felt that it is very fast and must be very strong. Moreover, they could sense a thread of dragon aura. Although Long Tianji is a poison dragon spider, she cultivated in the Guanghan Palace and often stayed together with Long Xiaofeng. Later, she received pointers from Long Yuqing. Qin Yun carved dragon totem on her body and also used the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation to cultivate, so her dragon aura is very pure. The dragon aura released by the small lightning dragon she condensed makes people think that it is a dragon warrior. It might be an emperor race dragon warrior, an evil ghost, and heavenly devils' loud shout arrive from distance. They have already run very far away. Situ Xiao AI originally thought that she took the risk to lure those people away. She did not expect that the things Qin Yun released would have such great effect. They can truly lure away those evil ghosts and heavenly devils and Situ Wushang. These guys are very suspicious. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been so easy to deceive. Qin Yun said, Senior Sister Xiao AI, can we go out now? I will go out first to make sure there is no problem. Then you can come out. Situ Xiao AI is also very cautious. She cannot let anything happen to Qin Yun. If not for Qin Yun today, she would not have known so many things. She is very grateful to Qin Yun in this regard. After Situ Xiao AI was sent out by Qin Yun, she carefully flew around all around. She made sure that evil ghosts and heavenly devils and Situ Wushang have gone far away and let Qin Yun come out. We should quickly return to Heaven Creation City. Situ Xiao AI brought Qin Yun along and very carefully ran through the forest. After a while, Long Tianji reported that 2 of those small lightning dragons have already died. The other 3 are still being chased. The 2 little lightning dragons had died because they were flying in the air and were accidentally killed by the evil spirits and heavenly monsters chasing after them. 2 evil spirits and heavenly monsters killed the small lightning dragon. Qin Yun said in low voice, Senior Sister Xiao AI, I am worried that they will chase after us. Don't worry, if there are only 2, I can deal with them. Situ Xiao AI said. No, even if it's just 1, if we can't kill it quickly, the others and Situ Wushang will soon come over. Should we continue hiding? Asked Qin Yun. There are many evil spirits and heavenly monsters. If we hide in this area, it won't be long before a large number of evil spirits and heavenly monsters come to search for us. Situ Xiao AI shook her head and said, we need to leave as soon as possible to be safe. If they were to face a large number of wraiths and heavenly monsters searching for them, it would be very difficult for Qin Yun and Situ Xiao AI to snatch the tree away. If there were no traitors, this operation would have been very smooth, right? Qin Yun said. If our team members were complete, even if we encountered the same number of evil spirits and heavenly monsters, we would be able to quickly defeat them. Situ Xiao AI said. Qin Yun wants to take out the heaven-leaping shuttle but while flying, there will be some remnant aura, and the movement in the air is not small. The perception of the evil spirits and heavenly monsters in this area is very strong. They will surely discover it. Just as Qin Yin is thinking a method, Situ, Xiao AI, promptly said, Qin Yin, quickly hide. Evil spirits and heavenly monsters are coming. Are there many? Qin Yin cannot sense them. Just one. I can deal with them. Situ Xiao AI said. All right, then quickly finish this battle. Qin Yin promptly drilled into a large tree. The perception of evil spirits and heavenly monsters is very dreadful. Qin Yin has now experienced it for himself. Along the way, Qin Yin and Situ Xiao AI very carefully removed the remnant aura, but they were still tracked by evil spirits and heavenly monsters. The evil spirits and heavenly monsters that suddenly appeared are holding sabers with both hands like mad beasts. As they flew over, they created a burst of dreadful whistling sound. Just as Qin Yin hid inside the large tree, he saw the evil spirits and heavenly monsters appear above Situ, Xiao AI, and chop down with their sabers. The black large saber chopped down. The evil saber energy is devilish red. The imposing manner is very dreadful. The whistling saber wind surged with turbulent energy, causing the surrounding giant trees to sway. Situ Xiao AI reacted very quickly and blocked with her sword. The large saber landed on the thin and weak sword blade, producing a burst of glaring light. The energy wave immediately surged in all directions, digging up several layers of soil on the ground. Those giant trees are actually very sturdy. They were only uprooted by the wind and did not break. After the saber and sword collided in this forest, the formidable immortal emperor power burst out and blew away many giant trees. In a short while, a very spacious open space appeared. Bang, bang, bang. A large number of giant trees that were blown away fell to the ground, producing a burst of muffled sound. The tree that Qin Yin was hiding in was also blown away. He is fine inside. You are a disciple of Heaven Creation Mansion. The dark-skinned large man sensed Situ, Xiao AI's power, and said in astonishment, Why didn't young master Situ sense you nearby? Evil spirits and heavenly monsters die? Situ Xiao AI held her long sword and quickly stabbed and chopped. Sword light flickered. The sword energy released burst out with dense and cold immortal emperor power. The aura also contains weak saint power. Within the dusky darkness, the sword light illuminated a large area of the forest. Swift and fierce sword energy whistled. The powerful momentum is filled with wild might. The evil spirits and heavenly monsters are constantly being beaten back. The saber in his hand is also very strong. It has not been damaged even after fighting with Situ, Xiao AI's sword for so long. You are a heavenly daughter. Although the large man is an evil spirit and heavenly monster, he is very knowledgeable about Heaven Creation Mansion. Only a heavenly daughter and heavenly son level disciple of Heaven Creation Mansion can have such formidable power. You are not a heaven-defying sex, evil spirit, and heavenly monster. You are from Evil Dragon City. Situ Xiao AI said in cold voice while fighting. Evil Dragon City's evil spirits and heavenly monsters have been together with divine cosmic evil dragon for many years. They have absorbed a lot of overflowing energy from divine cosmic evil dragon's body. Therefore, they are stronger than heaven-defying sex, evil spirits, and heavenly monsters. The large man said with sneer, As expected of Heaven Creation Mansion's heavenly daughter, you look very delicious. I will definitely eat you. Ha ha ha. You are already at death's door, and you still want to eat people. Situ Xiao AI's attack is very fierce. She is not even a bit afraid while facing the evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Instead, she is becoming more and more courageous, suppressing them to the point that they can only dodge and block. Qin Yin is watching from distance and said with frown, Senior sister Xiao AI is very strong. She will definitely win. However, That evil spirit and heavenly monster are also not simple. He knows that he is not senior sister Xiao AI's match, so he is defending with all his strength and waiting for his companions to arrive. This kind of thing is the most frightening thing in battle. Sidu Xiao AI wants to end the battle quickly, but her opponent has seen through her intention and is defending with all his might. These evil spirits and heavenly monsters that have transformed into humans are indeed very difficult to deal with. Qin Yun took out the evil Slayer Divine Talisman and said, "This is what Zhang Shengxian gave me. If I want to end the battle quickly, I can only use this thing." He used mysterious penetration divine ability and suddenly rushed out. The large man's expression slightly changed because he sensed that someone is nearby. Because that person is hiding very well, he is unable to sense his exact location for a moment. Sidu Xiao AI also discovered that Qin Yun has come out. She did not expect that Qin Yun would suddenly come out. This kind of situation is very dangerous. Senior sister Xiao AI, quickly dodge. I want to use the talisman. Qin Yun hastily sent a sound transmission. Situ Xiao AI is astonished in her heart. She immediately flew backwards. Qin Yun quickly threw out the evil Slayer Divine Talisman in his hand. After the evil Slayer Divine Talisman was thrown out, it flew towards the large man like a lightning bolt. After it arrived, it turned into a golden, shining axe in the blink of an eye. The talisman turned into an axe. As if it has a mind of its own, it chopped towards the large man very quickly, accurately, and ruthlessly. Boom! The axe is only an illusory image formed from energy. After it chopped down, it exploded with a very strong vibration. Evil Slaying Sage Talisman. Situ Xiao AI recognized these talismans and felt quite shocked. These talismans were incredibly precious, and even heavenly sons and daughters like them would find it difficult to obtain one. After the burly man was hit by the evil Slaying Holy Talisman, the armor on his body cracked. The evil power that erupted was suppressed by the evil Slaying Holy Talisman. Qin Yun witnessed the might of the evil Slaying Divine Talisman. After the man was struck by the evil Slaying Divine Talisman, he was immediately covered in wounds. The burly man was wearing a very thick armor, but he was still injured. If he did not have the defense of the armor, he would have been instantly killed. Qin Yun looked at the injured and furious large man and felt shocked in his heart. At the same time, he saw Sidu Xiao AI appear behind the large man and thrust her sword towards his head. The man's head was pierced through, but he did not die. He let out a deafening roar. Qin Yun immediately took out the heavenly lion-dragon suppression cauldron and let it float in the air. When Situ Xiao AI saw this, she tacitly dodged. The heavenly lion-dragon suppressing cauldron closed and sucked the burly man inside. Qin Yun captured a very powerful heavenly monster alive. When Situ Xiao AI wanted to quickly leave with Qin Yun, her expression suddenly changed. She immediately flew towards Qin Yun. In an instant, Situ Xiao AI arrived at Qin Yun's side and slashed down with her sword. At the same time she slashed, an evil bloodlight rushed out. An evil ghost heavenly monster transformed into a burly man and attacked Qin Yun. Situ Xiao AI promptly rushed over and blocked the evil large saber with her sword. Qin Yun promptly dodged. He still has lingering fear in his heart. He was almost hit by the saber. Heaven Creation Mansion's disciples. You are dead for sure. That large man also sensed that one of his companions has been captured and shouted angrily. The ones who will die are you devils. Sidu Xiao AI knew that if this continued, other heavenly monsters would come one after another. Now, it will be very difficult for them to escape. Chapter 1873. Thief Cry, Thief Sidu, Xiao AI just wanted to kill off this burly man in front of her as soon as possible. Although her attacks were very ferocious, her opponent was the same as the burly man from before, defending himself to the death. He was trying to stall for time and wait for his companions to arrive. They also knew that it would be very dangerous for them to be alone. They were no match for the powerful disciples of heaven creation abode in a one-on-one fight. I will create an opportunity for you. Give it a try. Situ Xiao AI promptly transmitted her voice to Qin Yun. Qin Yun hid in the shadows as he held the two evil, slaying holy talismans in his hand. The evil slaying holy talismans he refined were definitely inferior to the ones refined by Zhang Shengxian. After all, Zhang Shengxian was a sacred transformation stage expert. After a round of fierce attacks from Situ Xiao AI, her sword Qi condensed into a giant sword and rushed towards the burly man. A black mist surged out of the burly man's body and wrapped around his body. He was pushed back by the huge sword formed from sword Qi. At that moment, Qin Yun threw out two evil slaying sacred talismans. After the evil slaying holy talisman flew out, it automatically turned into lightning. When it neared the burly man, it turned into two white long swords. It was a sword formed by the star and moon sword rune. What kind of talisman is this? Situ Xiao AI thought to herself when she saw the extraordinary might of the two swords. She was certain that it was not the evil slaying sage talisman, because the evil slaying sage talisman had transformed into an axe, and its holy power was very strong. The sword that Qin Yun refined from the evil slaying divine talisman contained the power of overwhelming righteousness. When it charged over, it immediately pierced through the burly man's black protective barrier. The two swords pierced into the man's eyes. Ah! That big man screamed miserably. The evil power in his body surged. Originally, the two swords were about to explode, but they were scattered by the evil power that burst out from the burly man, so they did not explode. Situ Xiao AI's attack is very timely. After Qin Yun's two talismans took effect, in just half a blink, she appeared behind that large man, brandished her sword, and beheaded that large man. Qin Yun also rushed over and stored the corpse into the heavenly lion-dragon suppression cauldron. Let's go. Situ Xiao AI pulled Qin Yun and flew into the sky. Wait! The Nine Heavens Dragon Lion cannon in Qin Yun's hand shot towards the ground. It was shot by a large amount of sacred oil and mysterious silver crystals. After it landed, the sacred flame roared like a wave and rushed in all directions. In this way, the aura of their battle just now was completely concealed. Situ Xiao AI of him, of Qin Yun. If Situ Wushang rushed over and discovered Situ Xiao AI's aura, he would be alerted and would not return to Heaven City. Situ Xiao AI also knows why Qin Yun is doing this. Although she wants to conceal her aura, her method is too slow and she doesn't have enough time. Qin of Qin 2, Qin Xiao Qin. Tian AI Yun of Long, Qin of the two. With two. That said, he as Qin as he. Before long, Situ Wushang and the other two evil spirits who had transformed into burly men appeared in the sky above the forest. They looked at the scorching, sacred fire below with grave expressions. Who could it be? He can actually kill two of our companions. A big man said coldly. Is he from Heaven City? This kind of sacred flame is rare even in Heaven Creation City. It is definitely not from Heaven Creation Mansion. Situ Wushang shook his head. His expression became even more grave. He said, even in Immortal Desolate, it would be difficult to produce such a powerful sacred flame. Could it be someone from Sacred Desolate? The sacred flame Qin Yun shot out was refined using a large amount of sacred oil inside the pill transformation heavenly furnace. Then he used it together with the Nine Heavens Dragon Lion cannon. The flame is naturally very strong. Even in the Sacred Desolate, it is a very strong sacred flame. Situ Xiao AI brought Qin Yun back to Creation Heaven City. Along the way, she was silent. She didn't think much and didn't say much. She wanted to maintain the highest concentration and bring Qin Yun back to Creation Heaven City safely. Qin Yun is being held by Situ Xiao AI. He is thinking about his two evil-slaying sacred talismans. If they explode, the power will be pretty good. Qin Yun said in his heart. Yuner, do you think my evil-slaying sacred talisman can help me deal with 9th-level immortal emperor-level evil spirits and heavenly monsters? It can't. You have seen your sister, Xiao Ai's help. Otherwise, your evil-slaying sacred talisman would not be able to hit them. Even if you hit them, they can block or suppress them if they are on guard. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun thought about it carefully and agreed. Your evil-slaying sacred talisman is not bad. It is not a problem to deal with evil spirits and heavenly monsters of the same level. Ling Yuner said again. Evil spirits and heavenly monsters of the same level have no chance of winning against you. You are now a 3rd-level immortal emperor. With the evil-slaying sacred talisman, it is not a problem to deal with 4th or 5th-level immortal emperor evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Even if Qin Yun does not use the evil-slaying sacred talisman, he can rely on his equipment to kill evil spirits and heavenly monsters of the same level. If he is besieged, he can use the evil-slaying sacred talisman to reverse the situation. It seems that I should work hard to improve my cultivation. Although the evil-slaying sacred talisman is very useful, it requires a strong cultivation. Qin Yun said in his heart. He believes that if Situ, Xiao Ai, has enough powerful evil-slaying sacred talisman, she can easily win against those 4 evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Even if you have a high cultivation, you should make more evil-slaying sacred talismans to protect yourself. If you are besieged, you can kill them all. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun also felt the same way. A day passed. Situ, Xiao Ai, and Qin Yun finally saw the magnificent Heaven Creation City. Seeing the Heaven Creation City in front of them, Situ, Xiao Ai remained vigilant and did not relax. It was not until they passed through the gate of the Heaven Creation City that Situ, Xiao Ai's expression relaxed a lot. However, her expression is still serious, as she quickly ran towards the Heaven Creation Mansion with Qin Yun. After entering the gate of the Heaven Creation Mansion, the atmosphere is not right. What's going on? Qin Yun said with a frown. Many seniors have come here. It is the aura of grief and anger of those seniors. Situ Xiao Ai said. The disciples who went out to take action have suffered heavy casualties. Those seniors knew about it and came over? Qin Yun said in a low voice. Situ Xiao Ai nodded and said, Let's go find Zhang Shengxian quickly. Fortunately, there are only a few dozen disciples who went out to take action this time. If there were more, the loss would be very serious. Qin Yun said, Senior Sister Xiao Ai, your brother is not on the list given by Lu Chuanyu. That guy's list is not complete. On the way back, Situ Xiao Ai is also thinking about this matter. She feels that many disciples of the Heaven Creation Mansion are very suspicious. Even the heavenly sons and daughters may have secretly joined the evil dragon city or the heaven-defying sect. Maybe some disciples entered the heaven-defying sect very early and then continued to lurk in the Heaven Creation Mansion. In front of Zhang Shengxian's large stone house, a few old men walked out with faces full of grief and indignation. After those disciples died, the life pearls they left in the family would also shatter, so they all know that. This time, there's so many casualties, it is obviously very unusual. Qin Yun and Situ Xiao Ai arrived at the hall of Zhang Shengxian's large stone house. Zhang Shengxian's face is also filled with pain because he watched many outstanding disciples of the Heaven Creation Mansion grow up. He is very sad that those disciples died. I am relieved that you can still come back. Zhang Shengxian saw Qin Yun and Situ Xiao Ai return and sighed softly. How could it be like this time? Dozens of disciples went out, and so far, more than 20 have died. Zhang Shengxian, we know the reason. Situ Xiao Ai lowered her voice. Let's go to top secret place. Zhang Shengxian saw that Situ Xiao Ai's expression and voice are very serious. He nodded and said, Follow me. Not long after, they arrived at a top secret room of Zhang Shengxian's. There are traitors in the Heaven Creation Mansion, and there are many of them. Situ Shao AI gnashed her teeth and said, "Even my brother. That bastard betrayed us." Shao AI, you can't talk about this kind of thing without evidence. Zhang Shengxian is startled and said with frown, "It will cause a lot of trouble." Zhang Shengxian also guessed that there are traitors in the Heaven Creation Mansion. Otherwise, it would be impossible for them to know their movements and the whereabouts of the disciples of the Heaven Creation Mansion. Situ Shao AI looked at Qin Yun. Qin Yun released Lu Chuanyu. Lu Chuanyu. Zhang Shengxian is very surprised to see Lu Chuanyu. "It's you." Lu Chuanyu still has the life-sealing, soul-devouring lock on his body. After he came out, his whole body trembled and said, "Zhang Shengxian, I was wrong. I should not have betrayed the Heaven Creation Mansion." Zhang Shengxian opened his eyes wide and looked at Qin Yun and Situ Shao AI. Qin Yun began narrating what happened. First, he talked about meeting Lu Chuanyu and the disciples of the heaven-defying sect. Then he talked about Situ Wushang and the 4 evil spirits and heavenly monsters. After Zhang Shengxian finished listening, he still can't believe that Situ Wushang actually betrayed them for the divine essence blood. I didn't know Situ Wushang also betrayed us. This bastard, he actually talked to the divine universe evil dragon. Lu Chuanyu cursed in low voice. Qin Yun released a wounded evil spirit and heavenly monster, the one who was not beheaded. He waved his hand and took out the life-sealing, soul-devouring lock on Lu Chuanyu's body. Lu Chuanyu weakly fell to the ground. He was scared to death. The dark-skinned large man glared at Qin Yun and Situ Shao AI. Zhang Shengxian, this guy is with Situ Wushang. I can make him confess even more. Qin Yun faintly smiled and inserted the 4 life-sealing, soul-devouring lock into the large man's body. Qin Yun secretly activated the life-sealing, soul-devouring lock, and the large man immediately screamed in madness. Lu Chuanyu almost vomited from the side because he is too scared. His body was previously pierced by the 4 life-sealing, soul-devouring lock. Next, it was Zhang Shengxian who interrogated the large man. The large man is not afraid of death, but he is very afraid of pain. He was tortured to the point that he spilled everything. Situ Wushang really betrayed them. Moreover, Situ Wushang went to the evil dragon city on his own and surrendered. The evil dragon city wanted Situ Wushang to obtain the divine universe golden stone, so they accepted him. In order to show his sincerity, Situ Wushang killed 4 of his small team's disciples and let the 4 large men eat them. After hearing the whole story, Zhang Shengxian is so angry that he tightly clenched his fists. Saint power almost burst out from his body. Qin Yun, Shao AI, you 2 go rest. Leave the rest to us seniors. Zhang Shengxian said. Oh, that's right. Don't beat the grass and alert the snake. Qin Yun took back the life-sealing, soul-devouring lock and told Zhang Shengxian not to tell anyone that he has these things. Zhang Shengxian locked up Lu Chuanyu and the large man, then brought Qin Yun and Situ Shao AI to the hall. Situ Wushang is actually sitting in the hall waiting for Zhang Shengxian. Chapter 1874. Heaven Creation City Counterattack. Chapter 1874. Counterattack. Qin Yun and Situ Shao AI looked at each other in dismay. Situ Shao AI was shocked at first. Then her expression immediately turned cold, and she shouted, "Big brother, what are you talking about? Qin Yun has made such a great contribution to the Heaven Creation God Palace. Yet you still say that he is a traitor." She did not expose Situ Wushang on the spot because Zhang Shengxian said that this matter would be handed over to him. After all, this matter involves Elder Situ. When the time comes, it will be Zhang Shengxian who will contact Elder Situ to discuss this matter. Situ Wushang shouted, "Our Heaven Creation Mansion has suffered such heavy casualties during this operation. There must be a traitor. I'm the only one in my team who is still alive. If I did not run fast, I would have been killed." Qin Yun really want to throw all the life-sealing, soul-devouring lock on Situ Wushang. He is actually so shameless. Not to mention that Situ Wushang is a traitor, he is still shouting that Qin Yun is a traitor here. Wushang. Qin Yun has been with Xiao AI all along. How could he be a traitor? Zhang Shengxian walked over, patted Situ Wushang's shoulder, and said, "The Heaven Creation Mansion has been sealed. For the next 2 days, all disciples can only enter and not leave. I will investigate clearly. I have thought about it. Qin Yun is the most likely traitor in the Heaven Creation Mansion. He made a deal with my father and suffered great losses. So he wants to take revenge on our Heaven Creation City." Situ Wushang pretended to be very angry, gnashing his teeth as he looked at Qin Yun. Because Situ Wushang went to Evil Dragon City, he knows that Qin Yun is not honest Qin, but a very cunning old fox. It must be known that a large number of Qin Yun's enemies have gathered in Evil Dragon City. Those enemies are all big shots, and they all hate Qin Yun to the bone. A person who can make so many big shots hate him must be an extraordinary person. Therefore, Situ Wushang decided to get rid of Qin Yun first. He saw that Qin Yun and his sister are very close, so he is worried that Qin Yun will destroy his plan. Situ Wushang wants to secretly capture his sister and use her to threaten his father to steal that very big divine universe golden stone. With an old fox like Qin Yun by Situ Xiao AI's side, Situ Wushang was rather apprehensive. "Wushang, you are too tired. Go home and rest first." Zhang Shengxian sighed softly. Everyone has been very sad during this period of time. I can understand. Zhang Shengxian, you must capture Qin Yun. You must not let him leave Heaven Creation Mansion. Situ Wushang glared at him and said with resentment, "He killed our Heaven Creating Abode's disciple." Situ Xiao AI was so angry that she wanted to kill Situ Wushang immediately. Zhang Shengxian said, "Qin Yun, you will stay here with me for this period of time. You can't go anywhere. Let's investigate this matter first." "Yes." Qin Yun nodded. Zhang Shengxian waved his hand and arranged for an elder to take Qin Yun out of the hall. Situ Xiao AI looked at Qin Yun and said, "Qin Yun is still injured. I will go take a look at him." "Xiao AI, that guy's a bastard. As far as I know, he has many wives and concubines. Moreover, he is a very vicious rapist." Situ Wushang shouted. "Shut up." Situ Xiao AI couldn't bear it anymore and said angrily, "Qin Yun went out with me, and in order to save me, he was almost killed. He is not the kind of person you say he is." Indeed, Situ Xiao AI had received Qin Yun's help outside. Zhang Shengxian frowned and said sternly, "Wushang, don't make trouble without reason. You can't talk nonsense without evidence." Situ Wushang snorted, turned around, and left. Situ Xiao AI and Qin Yun followed the old man into a safe room. "Senior Sister Xiao AI, thank you for protecting me just now," Qin Yun said with smile. "You're welcome." Situ Xiao AI sighed and said, "I really didn't expect that bastard Situ Wushang to become like this. He wanted more. He wanted to become stronger. So he walked the evil path." Qin Yun patted her shoulder and said, "Fortunately, we discovered it early, and otherwise I would have been sold by him." Situ Xiao AI thought about how she was betrayed by her brother. At the same time, she felt anger and sorrow. "Senior Sister Xiao AI, you said before that you wanted to exchange Dao technique with me. What kind of Dao technique is it?" Qin Yun still remembers this matter. "Qin Yun, are you really willing to exchange with me?" Situ Xiao AI asked in earnest. "If your Dao technique is not bad, of course I'm willing." Qin Yun said with smile, "Show it to me." Situ Xiao AI thought about it, and seems like she is regretting. "Senior Sister Xiao AI, you can't be like this. You said before that you wanted to exchange." Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "I can truly let you quickly master the art of hiding inside the tree." Situ Xiao AI said, "That Dao technique was passed on to me by someone else. If I want to pass it on to someone else, I must get that person's consent. I was too impulsive at that time and said that I wanted to exchange. Don't worry, That person should agree, but I still have to confirm it. All right, you confirm it with that person, then we can talk. Qin Yun said. All right. Situ Xiao AI nodded and said, I'm sure I can pass it on to you and then show you the ability of that Dao technique. Situ Xiao AI left the room. She knows that Zhang Shengxian left Qin Yun here because he is worried that Situ Wushang would cause trouble for Qin Yun and cause a conflict. Qin Yun sat on the bed, his heart itching. He curled his lips and said, This senior sister Xiao AI is really something. She is so tantalizing. Ling Yun said with smile. She is afraid that after displaying the ability of the Dao technique, she won't be able to pass it on to you. She is afraid that in order to obtain the Dao technique, you will attack her, for example, capture her. Even Situ Wushang betrayed her. She is very vigilant against everyone now. This is also very normal. Hearing Ling Yun's words, Qin Yun can understand Situ Xiao AI's intention. Before, Situ Xiao AI only thought that Qin Yun was an honest Qin. However, after going out with Qin Yun, she realized that this honest Qin's ability is very dreadful. Therefore, she also maintained a certain level of vigilance against Qin Yun. Xiao Yun, the evil-slaying divine talisman you made is very good. You have to make more. Ling Yun said, If there are more, it should be very useful. I will cultivate first and become stronger. Qin Yun took out the gourd-shaped heaven-leaping shuttle. He entered the warehouse of the heaven-leaping shuttle, took out a large bath made of white jade, and poured a lot of divine space spring water into it. Then he let Zi, Qingsheng, Shui, Tianzi, and Long Tianji come out and soak in the divine space spring water to cultivate together. The matter of dozens of Heaven Creation Mansion disciples going out and suffering heavy casualties spread throughout the entire Heaven Creation City, causing a lot of sensation. The disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion are all very strong. Even if they can't beat them, they can still escape. And now there are only a dozen or so disciples who can return. Although the sinister Situ Wushang can't leave the Heaven Creation Mansion, he can contact the outside world. In the past 2 days, he arranged people to spread rumors everywhere, saying that Qin Yun betrayed the disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion and exposed their whereabouts, which led to heavy casualties. The entire city knows that Qin Yun was scammed when trading with the Heaven Creation Divine Palace's Divine Universe Goldstone. If he betrayed the disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion to take revenge, it would indeed make sense. Inside a huge stone house of Heaven Creation Mansion, Zhang Shengxian, Elder Situ, and Situ Xiao AI are inside a top-secret room. Zhang Shengxian released Lu Chuanyu and the Evil Ghost and Heavenly Monster. Then, Situ Xiao AI began to tell Chu Feng about the traitors in detail. Elder Situ is sitting on a chair, looking at Lu Chuanyu and the Evil Ghost and Heavenly Monster. He is patiently listening. His expression is very calm. Even though he knows that Situ Wushang is a traitor, his expression does not change. He is very calm. Father, do you believe Situ Wushang or me? After Situ Xiao AI finished speaking, she slightly frowned because her father doesn't seem to be surprised at all. Elder Situ, what should we do with Situ Wushang next? Zhang Shengxian asked. Capture him and torture him. Situ Xiao AI's face is filled with anger as she shouted. Elder Situ shook his head and said, That bastard caused the disciples of Heaven Creation Mansion to suffer heavy casualties. If we just capture and kill him, will we really be able to vent our hatred? Zhang Shengxian nodded. If we just kill Situ Wushang like this, it is indeed a bit too easy on him. Father, what do you plan to do? Situ Xiao AI carefully thought about it and knew that her father wants to use Situ Wushang as much as possible to get revenge before he dies. Elder Situ sneered. That damn little bastard. He let me take the Divine Universe Goldstone for myself. He already has other thoughts. Zhang Shengxian shook his head and said, I really can't see it normally. He wants to quickly become a saint and go to Sacred Desolate, but he has been unable to break through. It can be said that he has fallen into evil. So he wants to use the divine universe evil dragon's divine essence blood to help him break through the bottleneck. Elder Situ said, "Becoming a saint can indeed drive many people crazy." Zhang Shengxian sighed. Zhang Shengxian, pretend to arrange the next operation. Then leak it to Situ Wushang and say that we're going to send a lot of people. Elder Situ said, "If he reports to the evil dragon city, then he will have taken the bait. This time, we will make the evil dragon city suffer heavy losses." All right, let's properly discuss how to set up this trap. Zhang Shengxian nodded his head, looked at Situ Xiao AI, and said, "Xiao AI, go look for Qin Yun. I still have things to do. I won't look for him first. You guys talk." Situ Xiao AI asked, "Zhang Shengxian, can I leave the Heaven Creation Palace?" "Disciples can leave the Heaven Creation Palace now," Zhang Shengxian said, "but it's best if you don't leave the city. I want to take a trip back to the Heaven Creation Divine Palace." Situ Xiao AI finished speaking and left the secret room. Situ Xiao AI walked out of the large stone house and saw Situ Wushang. "Xiao AI, where are you going?" Situ Wushang walked over and said with a smile, "Did you see that traitor Qin Yun?" "Brother, I want to go back to the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. There will be an operation soon. I want to go back and get some equipment and saint talismans." Situ Xiao AI said. Situ Wushang seems to be pleasantly surprised. He promptly asked, "Is there really an operation?" Chapter 1875. Reforged Mirror. Situ Wushang wanted to show his sincerity to the evil dragon city. If he could make more people of Heaven Creation City die and become food for evil spirits and heavenly monsters, then he would be valued by the divine universe evil dragon. He also knew that it was very difficult to obtain the divine universe golden stone, and there was a great risk involved. If he could make a great contribution in advance, he might be able to obtain the divine universe evil dragon's divine essence blood earlier. "Xiao AI, are you sure Heaven Creation Mansion is going to fight back?" Situ Wushang asked. "If it's true, then I have to start preparing. Anyway, we're going to fight the evil dragon city sooner or later. We can't go wrong preparing now." After Situ Xiao AI took a few steps, she turned to look at Situ Wushang and said, "Brother, do you really think that Qin Yun is a traitor?" Situ Wushang nodded and said, "I'm very sure. Xiao AI, don't listen to that guy's flowery words. He suffered a great loss from the deal he made with his father, so he will definitely get it back from us. Look, he's starting to attack you now. Don't worry, I'll be on guard against him." Situ Xiao AI sighed. "You may know a person for a long time, but you don't know his true nature." "Exactly. You should know by now that there are many rumors of his deeds outside. This guy is very vicious. I heard that Heaven Creation Divine Palace, Divine Inscription Palace, and Nine Yang Divine Palace have already exerted pressure on Heaven Creation Mansion to drive Qin Yun out of Heaven Creation City." Situ Wushang said. "Really?" Situ Xiao AI frowned. "Why hasn't the Heaven Creation House taken action yet?" "It's all because of that Zhang Shengxian. I don't know what kind of medicine Zhang Shengxian ate. He actually refuses to chase Qin Yun out." Situ Wushang said angrily. "Just you wait. That bastard Qin Yun will die a miserable death sooner or later." Situ Wushang also left hurriedly, wanting to send a message. Situ Xiao AI is suddenly worried about Qin Yun. If the Heaven Creation Divine Palace, Nine Yang Divine Palace, and Divine Inscription Palace join forces to put pressure on Zhang Shengxian, the pressure Zhang Shengxian is facing is very great. She looked at the huge stone house, hoping that Zhang Shengxian could make Qin Yun stay. Qin Yun is cultivating in Zhang Shengxian's territory. It is very safe. He is currently soaking in the divine space, spring water, with 3 beautiful women. How are those saint pills refined? The medicinal effect is very strong. At that moment, she was holding Qin Yun's hand. A surge of power flowed into her body through her palm. Who cares how he made it, as long as it's useful? Shui Tianzi is holding Qin Yun's waist with one hand and leaning on him. Her other hand is holding Long Tianji's hand. We have to break through quickly. Qin Yun said, "The situation outside is very abnormal." "Brat, is there still no news from Sister Kiru and the others?" She had once traveled through the Cloud Dragon mountain range with Qin Yun. Back then, Qin Yun had nearly been used as a sacrifice to die here. She still remembered this matter very clearly. "Not yet. I don't know where they went." Qin Yun knew a general direction through the soul-chasing talisman and did not go over to search. The main reason was that he was weak and did not dare to run around the Cloud Dragon mountain range. If he encountered a powerful evil spirit or heavenly monster, it would be very troublesome. Even the divine inscription mountain would not be able to withstand it. Unless he had the cultivation of a 9th stage immortal emperor, he wouldn't be afraid even if he encountered a divine universe evil dragon. "Me and Qingsheng are very strong. If we become 9th stage immortal emperors, we will surely be able to help you retreat," Shui Tianzi said with charming smile. Qin Yun kissed her forehead and said with smile, "When the time comes, you can make even more holy talisman papers for me. If we truly want to wage war against the evil dragon city, we will need a lot of Devil Slayer divine talismans." "That's simple, but can you make so many talismans by yourself?" Zi Qingsheng said. Qin Yun still has the Gemini heavenly rune. He wants to refine another Gemini treasure mirror. With his current level of inscription, it is very easy for him to refine another Gemini treasure mirror. At that time, he will put the Gemini treasure mirror inside the 9-Sun Divine Soul for Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi to use. They will be able to make a lot of Devil Slayer divine talismans inside. Qin Yun is now faced with a difficult problem. The Devil Slayer divine talisman's holy power is not strong enough. So when dealing with powerful evil spirits and heavenly monsters, it is not strong enough. He also doesn't know whether or not he can solve this problem after becoming a 9th stage immortal emperor. Several days passed by. Qin Yun broke through and entered the 4th stage immortal emperor realm. This speed can already be considered very fast. Sacred Pill and Divine Space Spring Water. In addition to cultivating with Zi Qingsheng and the others, he can be so fast. Qin Yun rubbed Zi Qingsheng's face, kissed Long Tianji and Shui Tianzi's jade faces, then let them return to the 9-Sun Divine Soul. Next, he wants to refine the Gemini treasure mirror. "Princess Anya is not here. I can only smelt holy tier materials." Qin Yun can only wait until he has the conditions to refine a better Gemini treasure mirror. Actually, the Gemini treasure mirror refined with holy tier materials is much more powerful than the one he is using now. 5 days have passed outside. Rumor that Qin Yun is a traitor is still spreading in Heaven City. Zhang Shengxian and Elder Sidu stood up and guaranteed that Qin Yun is not a traitor. Only then did the rumor die down. But there are still many people who are filled with doubt and talk about this matter from time to time, especially some of the seniors of the 9-Yang Divine Palace, Divine Inscription Palace, and Heaven Creation God Palace. They are all deeply worried about this. It must be said that Situ Wushang spread rumors everywhere these past few days. The effect is very obvious. Many people suspect that Qin Yun is a traitor. It took Qin Yun several days to finish refining the Gemini treasure mirror. He stayed in that secret room for nearly 10 days. Qin Yun arrived at the hall. Someone immediately went to inform Zhang Shengxian. Zhang Shengxian very hastily rushed over. "Zhang Shengxian, is there something urgent?" Qin Yun is in a hurry to return to his small stone house to collect those resources. "Qin Yun, tell me the truth. Do you have a 9-dragon heavenly origin formation?" Zhang Shengxian placed his hands on Qin Yun's shoulder and asked very seriously. "This, how do you know?" Qin Yun asked. Actually, he also knows that he can't hide it for long. "This matter starts from Immortal Desolate. According to the information I have, you once used the identity of the masked man and used inscription do technique to defeat the Alliance army and alien dragon race's inscription do masters. Later on, the Alliance army did not give you the Sun God Crystal, so you became angry and released the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation to attack." Zhang Shengxian looked at Qin Yun and said, Is that so? Qin Yun nodded and said, "That masked man is me. Where did this news come from?" Zhang Shengxian let out a long sigh. His hands also left Qin Yun's shoulder. He walked back and forth a few steps and said, "This is what the people from Heaven-defying sect told us. They told us to be on guard against you, saying that you have the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation." "Then what does Heaven City mean?" Qin Yun said. This matter caused Nine Yang Divine Palace and Divine Inscription Palace to jump up and down. During this period of time, they often came to my place and clamored to see you. They want you to hand over the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation to them for research. Zhang Shengxian said, "Qin Yun, if you give away the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation, it will be very difficult to get it back." Qin Yun's expression is relaxed. He sat down and said with a smile, "The nine-dragon heavenly origin formation is not in my hands. I gave it to the immortal desolate dragon emperor. Let them ask for it from the immortal desolate dragon race." Zhang Shengxian said in shock, "Really? You are actually willing to give such a precious thing to the immortal desolate dragon emperor? My father was killed by the divine universe evil dragon, and my relationship with the immortal desolate dragon emperor is pretty good. I had no one to rely on, so I found the immortal desolate dragon emperor," Qin Yun said. Zhang Shengxian felt a lot more at ease. He said with a smile, "Qin Yun, what benefits did the immortal desolate dragon race give you to make you give the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation to them? I heard that the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation is very strong. The Emperor Clan's clan emperors came a few times to discuss this matter with you. The nine-dragon heavenly origin formation is very important to the imperial race, Divine Inscription Palace, and Nine Yang Divine Palace. The Heaven Creation Divine Palace doesn't seem to care because they have it themselves. It's nothing, just a small thing," Qin Yun said with a smile. The immortal desolate dragon emperor gave Qin Yun half a chest of divine universe golden stones. It is not a small thing. If all the major powers knew that Qin Yun had half a chest of divine universe golden stones, they would definitely fight over it until their heads bled. Is the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation really in the hands of the immortal desolate dragon race?" Zhang Shengxian said with a smile. "If that's the case, then you don't have to worry about those guys coming to find you," Qin Yun said with a smile. "Let them go find the immortal desolate dragon emperor." Zhang Shengxian said with a bright smile. "I've seen the immortal desolate dragon emperor before. He's not someone to be trifled with." At this moment, an old man came in and said in panic, "Zhang Shengxian, that group of people are here again. They are the old inscription masters of the Nine Yang Divine Palace and the Divine Inscription Palace. Let them in." Zhang Shengxian faintly smiled. The nine-dragon heavenly origin formation is not in Qin Yun's hands, so there's nothing to worry about. Very quickly, more than 10 old men rushed in. As soon as they entered, they stared at Qin Yun. "Qin Yun, take out your nine-dragon heavenly origin formation," an old man anxiously shouted. "The nine-dragon heavenly origin formation doesn't belong to you, and you can't control it. Hurry up and hand it over to us." Another old man said coldly, "The nine-dragon heavenly origin formation is very powerful. It will only be wasted in your hands. Hurry up and hand it over to us." An old man walked in front of Qin Yun. Qin Yun sat there very calmly. He is also somewhat angry in his heart, but he said with a smile, "What if I don't give it to you? Don't tell me you want to snatch it. If you don't give it to me, then you will suffer." An old man anxiously said, "I won't give it to you. I want to see what will happen to me." Qin Yun laughed loudly and said, "You old fellows, I'm afraid you have never even seen the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation before, right?" An old man stomped his feet and said, "You little thing, what right do you have to possess the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation? That is a heaven-defying great formation. You are not worthy to possess it." Qin Yun found it somewhat funny. Not only did he possess it, he could also create it. He leisurely drank a mouthful of tea and said, "All right, I am indeed not worthy to possess the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation. Actually, I have long since decided to hand over the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation to those experts to use. You still have some self-awareness. Hurry up and hand it over to us. The dozen old men immediately became extremely happy. Their faces were filled with smiles. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.